Hey y'all, hi, hello, how's it going? I'm not late, but I usually like to start 10 minutes after. Can you hear me? Hey everybody, hi, I always have to check, just to make sure. Hey Jill, hi! Jill, you went to a retreat and it was great. And wait, who else is at a retreat? I think Dee Marie is at a retreat. But are you here? Well, I'm going to say hi to everybody. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, it's Val. And it's Belle. You like the jazz? You like some jazz? Bip is here. Love this. Dio Beb. Yes. Oh, good. Yes, it's late here in the UK, Dio Beb. It's true. But you've just got the grandchildren off to bed, so you can peace and listen. In peace. Get it? Jill is here. I'm so glad. Quilting Helly, hi. I think you've been here before. But if not, welcome. But I think you have. Anyway, either way, you're welcome here. Michelle Van Scrappy, hello. Van Scrappy indeed. Oh, I should shut the door. Hang on. I've never really got my temperature right when I start the stream. Nancy, hi. Sue John, hi. Hello, Kate. Kate, yes. Carol Hempel, yes. Ipsilala, yes. Myra's here, yes. Okay, good. So, life can begin. Oh, Little Bird Stitch is here. Amy 1E. Hey. Hi, Amy. I'm really glad you're here. You have come to the right place because if you like fun, if you are a quilt nerd like everybody else here, you're gonna like the show. You're gonna like it. I mean, I just don't know. If you really don't like looking at beautiful quilts and being encouraged and inspired by them, and sometimes confounded by them, if you don't like that, then I don't know. But give it a try. Give it a chance. I think you're gonna like it. I'm really, really glad. Oh, I have news, Jill. Hey, so Kay, it's the first time chat. It's your first time chatting in the chat. I'm so glad you're here. SJ's here. I can't even tell you why I had to shut the door because everybody's coming in and saying hi. I'm so glad you're here. Susan Michael's here. Quilty Nancy's here. Good heavenly days. I had to shut the door because I love Eric. I met him. I was talking to somebody. Was it Myra? Yeah. On the Discord. I have news about the Discord. And my Twitch retreat. My self-imposed Twitch retreat this weekend. But Myra mentioned that it's her anniversary, her wedding anniversary today. Happy anniversary. And she mentioned in this message that 9 months after you met your husband, Myra, I think you said you wed. And it's been a while, right? This is not your second wedding anniversary or your third, but I'll let you tell it if you want. But it's, you've put in the work and you have this really great anniversary. And I met Eric I met Eric in 4 months after I met him. We got married. He proposed and we got married. And I love him more every day. And the reason that I mention it is because, and we met by chance, by the way. It was not online. It was not a setup. We just, fate, I guess. But I made like a brisket kind of deal in the Instant Pot. And I didn't think it was terribly good. I think the meat was really fatty. I probably should have left it in longer to melt the fat. I don't know. But it must have been good because he ate it and he is in bed. I was like, Eric, where are you? And I just, and I opened the door to the bedroom and he's out. So I think that means it was a good pot roast. Tomorrow. Myra's anniversary is tomorrow. Let me do what I guess I always have to do, which is open the window a little bit because I get excited. And then I get hot. But it's quite cool here. I don't know if you can see. Okay, I'm here. I'm still here. Okay. Now it's... Oh yeah, that's great. Okay. Still here. Okay. So what can I tell you? There's so much to tell you tonight. The content itself for tonight's show, I don't know where it's going to lead, but it's a pastiche. We have so many things. Okay. Let me just, this is how we have to start. I have to get excited and then I have to cool down. And I always do. I mean, cool. I gotta be cool. Be cool. If you're new to this show is about, it's about curiosity. And the people here it's a place for us to all be curious together. And the thing that we're curious about is quilts. You pick something in the world sometimes that you like, and then if you want to get really nerdy about it, you just keep liking it and keep looking at it and keep thinking about it. And you usually, find some pretty cool stuff if you really look closely. At Quilt, certainly that's true. And so we look at all kinds of things here, and I bring you content because I look at quilts all day. It's not all I look at. I look at books that don't have to do with quilts, and I do things that don't have to do with Twitch and quilts and making my quilt documentary. I don't want to... I got an encouraging email this week. That's what I'll say. I just, like, in my fantasy world, the person who could help make the project happen is watching right now. Maybe she's watching right now and she's like, who is this Mary Fons? She wants to make a quilt documentary. Maybe I could help, but what is she like? Well, this is what it's like. This is what it's like. And what it's like on this show is that we talk about quilts. I bring you some content, from the stuff that I look at all day long. And then, hey, Rhonda Kernodle. Did I see Rhonda Kernodle? No, I didn't. I saw Nazda Quilts. Hey, Nazda Quilts, you're back. I'm so glad. I look at the stuff all day, so I pull things together to show you. And most of the stuff that I pull together to show you, I have only earmarked for myself, dog-eared for myself, because I want to look at it with you. We're going to look at a book cover, right, that has actually a whole story by the man who wrote The Wizard of Oz, Frank L. Baum, right? Did you know that he wrote a story called Patchwork Girl? Did you know that? Well, I sort of knew that. I always wanted to look into that. Patchwork Girl was part of the Wizard of Oz sort of universe, I think, but I don't know. And I've always wanted to know. So we're going to look at Patchwork Girl. Some of you may know that story and all about that, but I don't. It's kind of a weird setup on your screen. I'm new to Twitch. We're figuring this all out together. But we're going to start by talking about that. What is that on your screen? I'm going to take my face away so you can see the whole thing, and we're going to talk about this amazing piece of patchwork. I'm going to learn along with you. So that's kind of the deal. If you like quilts, you're probably going to like this show. I hope you'll stay. I hope you'll say hi in the chat. Hey, Faith. Hi. Good. Elizabeth knew. She knows about Patchwork Girl. Yeah, right, Myra. It's crazy. So first we do business. That was the intro to the show. I hope it was okay. I've had a very, very busy day. And a lot of it was working on this project. I have some business to share with you about this community, what we're doing here. And then I have some updates to the stream schedule. I almost said scream schedule. And then we're going to talk about the content, and it's really cool stuff. I mean, yesterday I was surfing, I was on my quilt net surf, the quilt net. I was doing my thing, gathering some materials for this and that, and I did it. I did what I do. I did what I used to do by myself all the time, right? Which is fall down the quilt rabbit hole, find some amazing quilt, and then have to know more about it, and what is this about, and it was made in 1880, what was 1880 like, and just sort of doing all that. And that happened to me yesterday. And the great thing is about the Twitch show is now I don't have to keep that all to myself. I can share with you what I found yesterday, and there was so much stuff, and so I'm gonna just show you a bunch of different things. Sometimes we have two major subjects or two major things to look at, right? But tonight we got lots of stuff. We got lots of little stuff. That's the plan. Who knows? We might deviate from that plan. But yeah, it's quilt nerding out. It's quilt nerding out. Okay, so Oh, Jill spent some money. She spent some money on some antique quilts. What's interesting, we're going to talk about the cost of some quilts. I was visiting an auction site, an online auction site. And it's interesting that you mentioned, and, you know, thank you for sharing the data, right? The amount, because it's really interesting how much, you know, we'll ask you, you know, how many quilts did you buy? You could say now, y'all can talk about it, but how many quilts you bought, what the quilts were like. It's interesting because pricing antique quilts is very interesting, right? And we're going to look at 3 quilts that I found. They happen to be patriotic. They're all like American flag quilts. But I found 3 American flag quilts on this really fancy auction site, First Dibs. And they would not altogether total $400. I mean, I don't know how much. We'll see how much they would cost together, but it's so much. And, you know, how do we price these things? We'll talk about that. So, okay. Yeah. The Discord. Okay. So there is the show, and we can all hang out together, and that's great. But then when the show ends, there are other, you know, often other things to say or talk about. You know, when we talk about, we talked about G's Bend, the new fashion collab. Maybe it's a collab, maybe it's, I don't know, something else. Between this Loren guy, this designer, and the G's Bend, quilters from G's Bend. And it's a lot, you know, and I loved our last show. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really good. I learned some stuff. I usually do. But it was just great. Y'all are really, really smart and really have a lot to contribute, which is why I want to do this, right? To learn from you too. And it was really engaging conversation. And so when the show ends, that's sort of it, right? Well, many Twitch channels, and if you're new to Twitch, so am I don't know what I'm doing. Look at my screen. The Twitch screen is supposed to be like fancy, you know, I'm supposed to have like lighting. I thought I looked really nice before I turned the camera on, and then I like did the test. I was like, ugh, I look terrible. Anyway, this is all really new to me too. You know, it's very rudimentary, but I've been learning a lot of things about Twitch, spending the whole day on Twitch. And Discord. And it turns out a lot of these Twitch people, Twitch streamers, have a Discord server. And it's annoying that Twitch doesn't have its own server thing for these conversations to keep going, but they don't. So a Discord server, and somebody mentioned that they have a gardening group that has a Discord, and that they use it, and it's great. It's basically, well, I'm going to show it to you, okay? It's just sort of a chat room. It's really kind of all that it is. It doesn't have to be more than that. It can be that. And it'll be a place for us to continue the conversation. You all can share images, because I share so many images with you from show to show. And you can't. You can chat with me and with each other, but you can't show your projects. If you have a link to something, you can put it in the chat here. But you can, but it goes fast, right? And you can't really come back to it once the show is over. But with the Discord, you can. It's like this clubhouse, basically. That's how I'm going to describe it, as a clubhouse for all the quilt nerds who want to hang out there. So I'll show you that. And I guess I could show you that now, but I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this thing. I want to show you what this thing is on my screen, on your screen. And we'll come back to that Discord, because I've been kind of chatty and sort of, I don't know. Sometimes I get excited and I bounce around even more than usual. So the other piece of business though, is that the schedule is a little bit different heading into the week, because I'm going to Budapest on Friday. Yeah, Budapest. Hey, Dee Marie, have you ever been to Budapest? I'm going there, and I mean, the numbers are starting to go up here. So like, we haven't traveled anywhere in Europe. We've been to the States and here. Like, 3 flights total, or 4, I don't know. Eric and I, we haven't traveled at all because I know, Belle, it's so cool. We haven't traveled because it's COVID, right? But my mom, and so Marianne, and my stepdad, Mark, and my sister, Rebecca, and brother-in-law, Jack, they're on a cruise. They're on a cruise to like Austria, and they're doing this cruise. And so they're going to be in Budapest on Friday. And we were like, well, let's go. Let's meet them there, I mean, this has all been planned. We're not going to just show up there. But so we're going to go for like 3 days and be in Budapest. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And I'll see my mom, and that's nice, and my sister and all that. So what that means is, and I'll update the schedule. I can't forget to do that. I won't forget to do that. What it means is, and I'll put this in the Discord as well. You'll see how that's going to work. Tuesday, normal, 11 a.m., same as it ever was. I'm adding a stream on Wednesday. I'm going to stream on Wednesday at 6 p.m. my time. So that would be 1 Central. I'll figure that out. Thursday, same. But then Saturday night, a week from tonight, I think probably I will not stream. I'll be in Budapest, and it'll be, I think they're an hour after us. It'll be 11 or something. So I'm thinking Saturday, no. But I think that should be it. So no stream Saturday, but an added one on Wednesday, because I just can't stay away. And that's it. That's it for now. There's been, I got started a little bit later than I wanted to, and that's enough of the stuff that isn't, the really, really good stuff. So let's take a look at what we have. We always start with a quilt on my desktop. I change my desktop every time I stream for you all. And this is Buda and Pest. You'll find it's 2 cities, each one side of the Danube. Oh, really? It's famous for its cafes. Ooh, the cake. Really? What kind of cake? Tell me more about the cake. Wow, Buda and Pest, really? 2 cities, each one side of the Danube. So Eric and I have amassed, lots of tabs that we're going to read all about it, before we go there, and we need to do that because our trip is coming up really soon now. But I did so I'm ignorant of Budapest at this moment, but I won't be eventually. But that is something that I have not yet learned that I now know, is that there's really. So Marianne, tell me more. Hey, Feandor, hi. Hot Springs, really? Maybe I won't be streaming Tuesday at all. I'll just stay over a little bit longer. Really, Hot Springs and cake and the Danube. Sounds good. Yeah, it sounds really good. Really good. Hey, the new Elizabeth. I think I know that Elizabeth. Is that Elizabeth? I'm trying to think. Okay. The desktop is a horse blanket. Well, sort of. Okay. SJ Pepper. Let's take a look at what we have. So this is what we have. Now I'm going to bring up my browser because there is a lot. There are other pictures to see. Of this amazing thing. Okay. And this is in the British Museum, and it is armor. It is horse armor. SJ, you know what? Yeah, you're always winning here. You have winning contributions to this chat. Horse armor. Okay. So a lot of times, if you've never been here before, a lot of times I'll pull up pictures, which I will do shortly and read to you as I'm scrolling through pictures. But there are so many pictures here, and it's the British Museum's website, which is pretty awesome. So I'm just showing you my browser. And I'll read to you the things there on the side, because the way a lot of people watch this show is they kind of watch while they're sewing, or perhaps while they're snacking, or perhaps they are cleaning, or maybe they're just like and fully watching because it was a long week. I get that. So this is at the British Museum here in London, and it is quilted horse armor with diamond patchwork design. Interesting. We would call them flying geese, right? But these are motifs that have existed forever. You know, the flying goose, the flying geeses that we use in our quilts are, I mean, it's just like, this is just like fundamentally human graphic work, right? It's like interlocking triangles. It exists everywhere. 4 pieces sewn together. Okay, I'm going to read that about Budapest. And Marianne thought it was an on-trend quilted jacket. It could be. I mean, really. So it says it's 4 pieces sewn together, and we can see that, right? So I'm going to zoom. What I'm going to do as well, hold on. Let me do this. And let me do this and bring you down here. No. Oh, sorry. Because I do want to... I do want to have the text down here because I'm going to go full screen for you all. Full screen. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay. So there's 4 pieces. Yeah. And it's fiber padding. Fiber. It doesn't say, you know, what kind of fiber, but just fiber. With wood toggles and rope and yarn. Look at that. Oh, the British Museum. You know you're going to get great images, right? So happy to have them. Look how the geese are woven, no background. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so true, SJ. It's true. Yes, these flying geese, as we would call them, you know, usually the flying geese that we sew as quilt makers doing patchwork, it's true. There's like a setting. There are 2 setting pieces on either side of the triangle. And if you've made quilts, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, perhaps I can pull up a photograph for you. But it's true. They're just interlocking. So would you do a strip set? Like, look at this here. See, now the quilt nerds come out at night, you know, because now we have to figure out how we would construct it if we were going to do this ourselves. So, I mean, this is a strip set, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that you would make, like, I'm just wiggling in between. I need a laser pointer in my computer. Believe me, if there's a way to do it, Eric can figure it out, and Twitch can make it possible. But what do you think about this? What do you all think about that? If you wanted to make interlocking geese like that, would you plan your rows? Okay, yeah, okay. So Marianne says the sky part of the flying goose unit on the sides. Exactly. That's a great way to put it. There's the goose and then the sky part, usually in a flying goose unit for quilters. SJ says, I think you have to plan your rows and just make the skies match up. Oh, okay. So you're saying you would have a seam, like the okay, wait, let's do it like over here. Hold on. Oh, look at this. It's so great. So you're saying that you would go ahead and do the normal flying goose unit, but one side of your sky would be blue, you know, and then one side of your sky would be red if you're making this golden flying goose. Oh, hey, Terry Meg. Hi. Terry Meg weighs in, says, paper piece the rose. Dee Marie, are you at your retreat? No. Well, if you are, I love that you're there with us. But I think you're maybe going tomorrow or something. Anyway, whatever is happening, you don't have to tell us where you are, but I know that you have a retreat happening. Susan says, strips of triangles. Elizabeth says she'd cheat and make a bunch of half square triangles. Okay. Totally. Yeah. So Elizabeth's saying, like, oh, I can't do that, but like right here, I could even get closer because, I mean, I guess. Can I? Can I? No, that's as close as I can get. Hey, it's the president of the Philly Modern Quilt Guild. How's it going? You have some fantastic members. I know some of them personally. Others of them I've met in this very show. I'm really glad you're here. What is your name? Do I know your name? Remind me. I'm so glad. Everybody, welcome the Philly Modern Quilt Guild president. It's not an easy job, no matter what Modern Quilt Guild or guild you're president of. It's a lot of work. So you could do half square triangles like so. I think one of the things that God, I love being with all of you. Okay, so one of the things that we got hung up on the last quilt that we were all sort of like looking at our screens like this close, trying to figure out how did she put that together, where it was the seams, like the seaming in that other quilt. We just couldn't really figure it out. And we thought maybe we're not seeing seams that would make sense. And here too, like we could do this with half square triangles. We could do it with, alternating the sky pieces of our flying goose unit. But there aren't seams here, which is why Terry Meg paper piecing would probably be the thing. SJ, yeah. The interior looks like Sherpa. Yes, we're gonna keep reading about this. And to see paper piecing's the way. It's the paper. Hey, Kevin. Hello, Kevin. Okay. Hey, hello, Kevin from Philly. I'm so glad you're here. Yes. So what year is the horse blanket? Okay, Charles is here. Everybody's here. Saltine crackers. 1,000%. I also thought of some kind of bread, like leavened bread, when I looked at the quilting. Those little dots of yarn. Okay, or of stitching. So let's take a look at this thing here. Hang on. Because there are more pictures. Okay. It's just amazing, right? Okay. Now we have to go out of that. And this, I almost used this photo for the for my desktop screen, but no matter where I put my head, for the opening scene, it was like I was like under his legs. Anyway, this is not important. Okay, here's some more about this. Okay. 19th century, made in Sudan, sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, Sudan. It was found/acquired in Sudan. Materials: cotton, fiber, wood. And this is the, you can see the wood. It's so great. Oh, this photo. It's like you're looking right at it. Look at the resolution on this thing. It's amazing. So those are your little wooden clasps, right? I mean, they still work, Some of you may have jackets with what is it called? Or necklaces or bracelets still. A T-clasp or something. It's the same principle. It still works. Okay. Woven and quilted. It says woven and quilted. Its height. It is 134 centimeters tall, 84 centimeters wide, and 170 centimeters deep. Okay. Curator's comments. In the armies of the great, this is great. In the armies of the great empires, in the savanna regions to the south of the Sahara, which would be Ghana, Mali, Songhai, Hausa, Kanem Bornu, and others, horses were equipped with heavy, often brightly colored garments of quilted cotton cloth. Several pieces of cloths were sewn together and stuffed with kapok. Kapok. The wool-like strands. Here's what that word is. Kapok. Okay. Sewn together with kapok, the wool-like strands that surround the seeds of the silk cotton tree. I'm going to say that again. Several pieces of cloth were sewn together, so that's our little thread, okay? Sewn together and stuffed with kapok, the wool-like strands that surround the seeds of the silk cotton tree. So let me get this straight. Does that mean that there's essentially naturally occurring thread. Like, it's saying wool-like strands that surround the seeds of the silk cotton tree. Well, we're looking that up, right? After we finish this. That's crazy. Like, naturally occurring thread, like strands long enough and strong enough you could sew with them or stitch with them, tack them. This is why we do this. You look at quilts, you learn everything you ever wanted to know about the world and things you didn't even know you wanted to know. Okay. In full battle armor. In full battle armor, the war horse would also have worn chainmail or pieces of leather across the flanks. Are you kidding me? How did he run? A chamfron. Oh, here's another word for us. A chamfron. You ever played Balderdash? You'll keep these words in mind with these things. A chamfron or headpiece of metal and cloth completed the outfit. However, amazing. These colorful horses, let me give you another picture here. Hang on. These colorful horses did not always go into battle. Yeah, because they couldn't walk. Instead, they often acted as bodyguards for the emir in the field. Emir. The armor was also worn at grand military parades. Today, these fabulous costumes are worn for only ceremonial occasions. Okay, I wanted to grab this one because we can see the back really well. Hello. Okay, we can see it pretty well. This particular horse armor was probably taken during or shortly after the Battle of Omdurman, which was in September 1898, which marked the end of the Mahdist state in Sudan. C.J. Spring, okay, that's the curator's name. Cool. Yeah, amazing. Wow. It's not on display. Donated by Major Ivor Maxey. And it was acquired in 1899. And it's in the Department of the Africa, Oceania, and Americas Department. So there you go. That's your desktop. That's where we start. We start with one thing, and that's the thing that I chose. I came across it yesterday when I was looking at Google Arts and Culture website, which is an amazing place to be. Okay, I gotta catch up on the chat. I was reading the British Museum. Okay. Kapok was also used for stuffing chairs. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta go back. Kapok. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, the color is, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, what? So, I mean, it's 19th century. Okay, it's 19th century. So it's like, you know, I mean, there was fabric that was color fast at that point. I don't know. I don't know about textile production or acquisition in Sudan in the 1800s, in the first half of the 19th century. I don't know. It's crazy. This is why you need, the museum people, man. We really need you. Okay. You guys are hilarious. Kapok. Okay. Kapok is a bit like raw cotton. You all know this. You all know that. I don't know anything here. And now SJ says she only knows the pronunciation because she's listened to a lot of #1 ladies detective agency novels. I have never read one of those. Okay, I've got to look up this kapok thing. Kapok is used as stuffing. Marianne says it doesn't spin well. Interesting. Okay. Cotton is better. Cotton is really a magical thing. It's crazy. Love the red. Same. Stuffing chairs. You can purchase kapok fiber. What is going on with you people? I'm so glad you're here today too, but you're replying to Marianne. Okay. Emir is a king. Okay. Trivia is coming in handy. Oh yeah, it's so good. Wouldn't this be protective of the horse? Yes, I think so. I think Faith, what it would be doing to me, I think, is aside from being like, everybody should be afraid of us because, like, we're amazing and we have, money to like make these beautiful things for our horses. I mean, something like that. I mean, they could just put like a white pad under, the horse, under the chainmail. And that's what I would assume is going on. Partly why they would want the pad because of the heavy chainmail, right? I think so. Oh, this horse is beautiful. Can you just imagine a horse in one of these? just beautiful. Ugh, fabulous. Okay, now I just got to look up K-Poc. K-Poc. K, but it's not with a Y, right? It's pronounced. Oh yeah, K-Poc tree. Okay, cool. K-Poc filling, K-Poc stuffing. What is K-Poc filling? Okay, I want to get to a decent. Wikipedia is okay, but I want to look at it. Oh, there's a video. Hang on. Is this a good video? This is a 1-minute video. Let's see what it has to say to us. Hang on, let me pull it up here. Is it going to work? Yeah, all right. Well, here's a man, and he is telling us all about it. So let's see what he has to say. It's 1 minute. So if it's bad, it'll be over before you know it.
Our most popular pillow fill is also the least understood. So let's...
Savvy Rest. Oh, no. Free advertising, Savvy Rest. Please don't be a horrible company that treats people terribly. Okay.
Organic K-Poc. It's buoyant cotton-like fiber that is harvested from the seed pods of the ceiba tree. Its soft, airy, and luxuriously silky texture is unique compared to other pillow fills. K-Poc is the perfect plant-based alternative to down, since it has the same fluffy feel without the feathers. The K-Poc pillow is also customizable and comes...
He's... Okay. I'm feeling some like fiber vibes. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's Saturday night, okay? It's late.
With 2 pounds of organic K-Poc inside. Just unzip the 2 organic cotton casings and remove as much K-Poc as you like. This allows you to adjust the height and overall feel of the pillow. You have plenty of fill to work with, whether you want a pillow for reading, side sleeping, or back sleeping. Choosing an organic K-Poc pillow is also great for your indoor air quality and the planet. Unlike synthetic pillows, organic K-Poc does not off-gas toxic chemicals and can eventually be composted after its life as a pillow is through. When you buy a Savvy Rest K-Poc pillow, you're not only investing in healthy sleep, but you're also supporting organic farmers and an employee-owned B Corp that uses only sustainable natural resources. So you can rest easy with our organic K-Poc pillow.
Wow. Okay, I'm super about this right now. Okay. That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I liked that. I was being kind of, that wasn't nice. His t-shirt was kind of coming down low, and he was kind of like, I don't know. He was cool. That ad was cool. And K-Poc sounds really great. It sounds like a good alternative to yeah, okay, thank you. He is another pillow guy. Thank you, Faith. Maybe that's why I felt so free to, make a comment about his hirsuteness. He was a bit hirsute, wasn't he? But it does grow such beautiful flowers. That was a nice graphic. I thought that was a real nice graphic when the flowers were growing.
Choosing an organic K-Poc pillow is also great for your indoor air.
Look, watch it.
Not off-gas toxic.
That freaked me out a little bit. I was like, "What's going on?" I'm sorry.
And can eventually be composted after its life as a pillow is through. When you buy a Savvy Rest K-Poc pillow,
okay, all right. Cool. And isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing that is what's in? It's what's in this horse blanket. I mean, this horse pad. And Faith, you said, Faith is on fire today, and everybody is just very funny tonight. Maybe not me, but you all. Anyway. So that's the same material. But Faith, you did say something, a question about the horse. Anyway. Okay. Well, now we move on. We move on because we have to move on. Boy, do I have cool stuff to tell you. I mean, yeah. Okay, let's just dig into this thing. Okay, I've got that. And I've got this. And we're just going to go for this. Okay, so there's a website called, or there's a gallery, a very fancy, I find these galleries, the galleries and the auction sites, that they exist for other people. I don't know, like I guess I'm othering, but like there's these auction sites like First Dibs or Worth Point, or I don't know if Worth Point actually sells things, but they list the prices for everything. And I forget, like Christie's. I actually signed up for an online account for Christie's. in New York because, I wanted to see what quilts they have. And they do have some. Christie's. That's how you have to say Christie's. If you're not someone who shops at Christie's, you have to say Christie's. Christie's. So if you don't know, it's that famous, very famous auction house where people are buying and selling Van Gogh and Banksy, unless he makes a piece of art that bursts into flames, as soon as someone buys it. He's done some things similar to that because he's awesome. But it's just the super, it's an auction house for the super wealthy, and, they're selling Monets and Manets and all this stuff. And so, but there's this world of online auctions that is not eBay, basically. And, I covet many things that are on these websites, but the prices of them are just crazy. And, we do not have a Twitch empire yet. So, but I love going in there to look at what quilts that they have, because just as Terry, I believe, was it Terry? There was a quilt purchase. Today. And Terry, didn't you buy quilts? Someone bought quilts today. $400 worth of antique quilts. And this is going to be interesting as we look at some quilts that were in an auction that I was looking at. Anyway, but before we get to those quilts, the prices of those and the quilts themselves, which are amazing. There's these 3 American flag patriotic quilts. I found so many, and I've put everything into files and saved all of these notes, so you will see everything that I found and everything that I find. The show will go on forever because I keep finding things, There's so much out there, But I picked 3, sort of a theme, these 3 American flag sort of patriotic quilts to look at. But at the Swan Gallery, I had never been to this website before. I don't know how I found it. This is what I mean. It just happens this way. I found 3 objects that really were fascinating, and this is one of them. So we're going to look at 3 objects from the Swan Gallery, and then those 3 quilts, and then we're going to talk about Patchwork Girl. Okay, that's the plan anyway. So this is a broadside. Let me read to you about this. K-pop, right, Myra? Myra says, I've already learned something new today. K-pop, the rest is gravy. Delicious quilty gravy. I made that gravy with that pot roast brisket thing tonight, and that's what put Eric out. He's out. He was like, so let's see. Yeah, this crazy quilt. Okay, so here's what it is. Do you hear the helicopter? Is it really loud? I can shut the window if needs be. The quilts will go on, indeed. Okay. So this is a broadside. For sale at Swan Auction Galleries. Price, the estimate of the price, the estimate that they, I don't know, what is an estimate? That's what they think they're going to get, right, when they give it to the auction house or when they try to sell it. I don't know. Estimated $300 to $500, okay? And the price that was realized was $312. It was sold. Yeah, okay. It's a little much. It was sold, I don't know when, but it was sold. And here's the description. Advertising broadside. Crazy patchwork. Scarce and attractive chromolithographed broadside advertisement for the Bard Dry Goods Company. 410 by 280 millimeters. Light stain to top left. Men's to edge. Chips and minor fold separation. Beautiful piece. And then it says in brackets, St. Louis, last quarter 19th century. Well, definitely. The Victorian crazy quilt was a thing around 1880, was like, ish. That was kind of the time when the crazy quilt just was going bananas in the States. I don't know, Britain too, Marianne, any of my British friends Was the crazy quilt a thing over here too? I don't actually know that, but I know that the crazy quilt, and I'm going to try to read some of this text to you. I don't think you'd probably be able to, but I think I can on my big monitor. The crazy quilt's an interesting thing. I mean, there were many folks, even now, they don't consider it a quilt at all because it isn't quilted. Crazy quilt is this, this melange of fabrics, all kinds of different fabrics usually. Velvets, silk, cotton, twill, all kinds, even lace and all kinds of things put together in this crazy way. And look, I'm not an expert on crazy quilts. Some of you may know more than I do about them, but the term crazy, there's a kind of treatment or a glaze, I believe. There, it refers to the crazing, like the crazing of on a pot, right? Like the glaze on a fired pot can craze, right? I'm going from like something that I'm pretty sure I know, but I could be wrong, and that's really embarrassing when I'm wrong. But there is, yes, Nosda Quilts. Yes, we're in a new place. And that's why this show is happening at all, because I have this wonderful space in which to do it. SJ, you are just like, what you are on fire tonight. Everybody is. You make pottery, and you're okay. Thank God I'm not totally wrong. So you had pottery come up from the kiln crazed last week. Craze. Okay. So it's not that there was crazing on the quilt. It's that the nature of the quilt, the motif, the look of the quilt resembled this crazing, right? On it, like cracked and sort of like, like, does that make sense that all the different pieces sort of resembled a crazed pot. Right. Okay. Thank you for asking that, because that is a very good question, right? Were they glossing stuff over it or doing something to the fabric? But no, that it resembled that kind of separated, like cracked kind of thing almost. And all these different kinds of stitches, you had your blanket stitch, you had your decorative stitches, like all of these guys in here. Today we have sewing machines that will do all of those. I don't know what sewing machines were doing. They weren't doing that. So these would have been hand sewn decorative stitches. I mean, there's just embroidered and stitched. So they're not quilted. They were hung. Someone mentioned like hanging over like a piano bench, or there are many, 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 many pictures from that era, from 1880s, 90s, 1900s. I mean, Victorian crazy quilts were really popular for a long time, and there are so many pictures because around 1870-ish, like commercial photography started kind of happening, and like, I mean, in these rural places, in the States anyway, which is what I know about, you'd have a photographer travel from town to town to take pictures of families, and and so you have pictures of people with their quilts, and we've talked about that before. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about, quilts in photographs, in old photographs. But you see a lot. I've seen a lot of pictures, from that time, turn of the 20th century, of crazy quilts. I mean, they were just nuts about them. They were very, very, very popular. So I think even people who weren't like super into making quilts were like all up in the crazy quilt business. This is just really popular. And there's just, I mean, really, it's like, if I see another crazy quilt in this, like in these old black and white photographs, like you just get kind of almost tired of seeing them, unless you're, obsessed with crazy quilts, then you're really happy. But they were everywhere. And it was just a huge trend. Nosda Quilts. I love where I live. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful every day, because that apartment was really rough. That was really rough. I've lived 42 years of my life. A good solid half of that, a little more than half of that, I've lived in apartments, and it was the worst. It was the worst. It was worse. It's behind me now. Yes, so everyone was concerned about the mania, Susan says. Everyone was so concerned about the mania of making a crazy quilt and not doing virtuous things. Exactly. These women, these sexually repressed people, not just women, but mostly people making crazy quilts were ladies. They were so, constricted in their corset and so, emotionally, squashed and squelched, and their sexuality was, something to be feared, and so they worked out all their energy and subconscious needs in their crazy quilt. It's interesting. So let's just see what this has to say. Oh, yeah. T-shirts. Yeah, what other quilt trends? Now I feel like a teacher. What other quilt trends can you think of that took the nation by storm? But it does seem like t-shirt quilts. Question from Little Bird Stitch: is that fringe on the edges? It is. And that, I just saw a Baltimore album quilt the other day, because I'm writing about those that had fringe on it. It's interesting. I didn't think of that until you said that, Little Bird. Okay, the art needlework department at Bars, St. Louis, contains at all seasons the very latest novelties and the most extensive assortment kept by any house in America. Crazy patchwork. Okay, oh boy. Crazy patchwork is the joining together in odd and original designs of irregular pieces of silk, velvet, satin, plush, or ribbon of different colors and patterns by silk threads of various colors. In making crazy patchwork, a foundation of muslin is generally used. The different pieces turned. If I get a migraine, I am going to blame it on this. The different pieces turned under at the edges are placed on this foundation. Like they're saying anything we don't know, but I'm going to let them finish. Matching them together as neatly as possible, or as nearly as possible, in the shapes they happen to be. The beauty being the irregular pattern when finished. The edges are then sewed together and to the foundation by invisible stitches. Then the fancy stitches are placed along and across the lines where the different pieces come together. These stitches, you know what? I have to say, it makes perfect sense, but I had not actually thought about it. I had not actually thought about how a crazy quilt begins as just patchwork. I just never thought about it. That like when you're sewing these pieces together, you're not attaching them with that. And maybe I'm the last to think of this, right? Maybe I'm the only one in the room who didn't think of it, but it's cool. I love discovering stuff like that because, you think about women making crazy quilts. I don't know about you, but I think about these Victorian women, like in their little parlors, making their, putting all they're transferring all their sexual repression into these quilts, whatever, and they're stitching them. And I just never really thought specifically about how the quilt was put together. I just sort of pictured them, and I picture them in the parlor, and I picture them with the quilt, and then I think of the quilt, and I don't really like crazy quilts, sorry. They're not my jam. But reading this is really interesting because I just never really thought about it. That all of that decorative stitching is decorative, so it goes on after, right? I don't know. I just hadn't thought about it. Like construction-wise, really. The edges are then sewed together. Yeah, okay. And then the fancy stitches are placed along and across the lines where the different pieces come together. I'm not reading the chat because this is so small. If I go back and forth, that will be bad. These stitches should be of various colors and designs, the decorative stitches, okay, and should form a contrast to the colors on which they are worked. Totally. As the beauty of the work when finished depends largely on the ingenuity displayed and variety of the stitches used. Okay. It is advisable in arranging the irregular pieces not to make too great a contrast in colors. As for instance, a very dark piece should not be put next to a very light one. Nor Really? Really? Okay, interesting. Tell me more. Nor should pieces be put together that do not harmonize in color. Well, okay. Well, what am I supposed to do? Okay. A little judgment displayed in this respect will add greatly to the effectiveness of the work when completed. It's pretty good copy. Okay, in making quilts or other large pieces, the patchwork is first arranged and finished in blocks about 10 inches square. These blocks being afterwards joined together on a suitable foundation, after which the whole is usually enclosed by a wide border of plush, velvet, or satin, which adds greatly to its attractiveness. The greatest scope of fancy is allowed in decorating the crazy pieces and designs of every kind in the range of imagination, from a spider's web to an owl. It's so great. And from a Kate Greenaway figure. Is it like a Precious Moments or something? To a wheelbarrow, are often worked into the patches with a needle. Now I kind of like crazy quilts because it's pretty awesome. The beautiful and unique variety, this is the last bit, the beautiful and unique variety of stitches given is our colored plate. The beautiful and unique variety of stitches given is our colored plate, and in the review, and in the review is a selection of the best after a careful revision of thousands by one of the leading artists of the Society of Decorative Art. Okay. By taking a part of one stitch and combining it with a part of another stitch, the variety can be indefinitely increased. Okay, so they're advertising these different stitches, or they're showing these different stitches. Okay. Fascinating, right? Scope of Fancy. Yeah, exactly. Scope of Fancy is a great band name. Yes, it is. I think, I want it to be like a punk, quartet, like two violas and a tambourine and something else. Yeah, totally. Quilt Police at the Bars House Furnishing Department. It is. They were very But remember when we looked at the weirdest stream ever, we looked at the Maxfield Parrish quilt, and he was like, this shade of white should be slightly darker, but not as dark as this other shade of white in the other half of the quilt. Now, if you do, that was pretty particular as well. But, it's not, it was pretty good. I mean, it's well written, and it's not too, it aged well, I should say, Yeah, I mean, thinking about them specifically, how do they really get made? Kate Greenaway was an artist. If nobody does a spit take at least once tonight, I've failed. Stitch work. Okay, so that's the thing. That's an artifact. And you're a quilt nerd. If you're new here, you're a quilt nerd. If this was gripping to you, and I left that image up for what? 15 minutes? If you've ever been to one of my lectures, my live lectures, I'm like, it's like an image every 10 seconds. I mean, I don't play. I love slideshows. I love giving presentations because I make what is essentially a film strip behind me, right? It's just like tons of images. It's great. So this is, it's different. Okay. Then, so now that's over. That's in the past. Okay. But I'll put that image on the Discord. We will talk about this Discord. But what you should just know, which will say everything to you, is that image, oh my gosh, do you want to look at it more closely? Yeah. Do you want to talk about it? Do you have something more to say about it? Well, you can say it over at our clubhouse, the Quilt Nerd Clubhouse, which is our Discord server, and I'll talk more about it. So that's why you have to stick around, okay? It's just a website, the Discord server thing. Okay. I need to check. So I'm on the Swan Gallery's site. Poking around. And I find this. But this isn't even it. This is a picture. There's a video. I have to show you. I'm going to show you. A video of a scrapbook of pictures of quilts. Pages and pages and pages of them. but I couldn't pull up a video in my preview screen. So I pulled this up. I mean, just, yeah, you love Discord. Good, Charles. Good. Yes, yeah. Want to run the Discord? You don't have to answer that. I put you on the spot. But I do need help probably running that eventually. But anyway, so look at this. So these quilts, this is a lovingly like kept, very like lovingly maintained, and then immaculately, you know, archived somewhere by someone scrapbook of quilts. I mean, Mrs. Bletner. This is called The Garden. There's a name here, The Garden. This picture was taken October 1938. The Garden. Look at this on the side here. Queen's Bouquet, Tulsa, Oklahoma, is this one here. Okay. The Garden. I mean, so when I was looking, well, okay, let me show you the video. I'll show you the video here. Okay, so I've got this here. Oh yeah, Tulsa. I knew someone was in. I knew it. Susan's in Tulsa. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull this up here. Can I do this? No, I cannot. Okay. Yeah, someone asked me how Twitch camp was going, and my Twitch retreat, it's going great. I set aside today, tomorrow, and I think I'm going to take Monday off to just completely immerse myself in all things like Twitch and Streamlabs, which is what I use to do this. Because I don't know, I've never used Twitch before. I've never done anything like this before, ever. And there's so much I don't know. I mean, so much. Okay. Are you ready for this? Are you ready to freak out? You're going to freak out. You're going to freak out. It's okay. I mean, look, I think this is not a bad time to say, if you have not subscribed, I think you should. I think you should subscribe. Though I don't have a subscription plan yet. One day I will, but you can subscribe at $4.99, $9.99, or $24.99. But don't worry about those other levels. Tier 1 subscription for $4.99 helps buy chips for your host, and also you don't have to watch ads, because you will have to watch ads sometimes if you are not a subscriber. And as Charles pointed out like a month ago, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch subscription every month. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of playing Fortnite. Little gamer joke there, but I think that you should subscribe to the Quilt Nerd Show, and that would be great. That would be just terrific. And you can gift a subscription if you haven't. If you can do that, you can give someone a subscription, which is like a kind of a cool like Twitch. It's kind of like a thing that people do on Twitch. It's like a gift, a subscription, and it's kind of like this. I don't know. What am I trying to say? It's like a handshake at Twitch if you give somebody a subscription for a month or something. But yeah. So anyway, that's that. And I think the reason I mentioned it, because I'm trying to bring you some awesome stuff. So here we go. Watch this. I don't believe there is sound. No. Hang on. Look at that. Look at all these. Look at all that. It's a 2-minute video. I'll play it again and stop, on certain pages, but we just have to see it. I was hoping she would do that. She did. Okay. We're coming back to that. Wow. Whoa. Turning off my mic so I can eat chips. Okay. Wow. Wow, right? Amazing. Wow. Okay. Okay. Let's go over here. And nose to quilts. Yes, it's true. Wait, hold on now. Everybody hang on. Yes. The name of this show, so it's early with this show, right? It's early. I'm in my 3rd month of doing this, and I love that what we're doing here, it is Quilt Church, right? It is Quilt Church. But when that was sort of the name of the show, instead of like just what the show sort of is, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. So at first it was Quilt Church, but I think it's even simpler than that. It's Quilt Nerd. It's just Quilt Nerd. It's Quilt Nerd. It's not the Quilt Nerd. It's Quilt Nerd. So I got to change all the branding. I got to change the cards that say Quilt Church and all that. And I mean, yeah. Man, I worked all day on stuff and I didn't get to that, my list is so long. Okay. So, hey, I think some people subscribed. That's so awesome. I really appreciate it. It's just wonderful. And y'all are helping each other. This is great. Thanks, Amy. Thank you for subscribing. That is so cool. A quilt nerd in absentia. Carol, thank you. Hey, you gifted a gift to SJ. You have given 3 gift subs in the channel. Part of what I did today is work on this audience reward stuff. It's gonna be awesome. So cool. Hey Judgy, hi. You know what, tonight, I don't know. I mean, tonight's gonna be kind of long. I got a lot of energy and I got a lot of cool stuff to show you. So I know. So, and it didn't bother me. The Quilt Church thing didn't bother me in any big way, except that it just simpler is better, right? Like, just simpler, right? Simpler. So I went with it. And Caitlin, thank you so much for mentioning that. The gospel and the organ music, it will stay forever. Like, that is what, yes, thank you for asking it. It will always stay. It will always be like gospel music, organ music, church music. I think it's perfect. It is the perfect soundtrack for the starting soon screen, or the be right back screen. Yes, our soundtrack is of the Lord, always. It's perfect. Good. Yeah, exactly. Quilt hymns, precisely. And like chamber music, Okay, so let's play this again. And I want to stop at a few places. Okay, so we saw this. Quilt nerd. Yeah, exactly. Homilies, precisely. Okay. Let's just stop every time she turns the page. This is a kit quilt, I think, right? Probably the other ones too. This is, can I zoom? Are you going to let me zoom? Oh, wait, hang on. Okay. It's not YouTube, so I don't have like the usual, no, it doesn't let me zoom in. But this is crazy, like down here. It's called Field of Diamonds by Mac something, May, I don't know. But the name of the photo album, I'm not sure, Susan, we will look when we, at the top of the video again. This is all hexes. You can see that, right? I'm trying to zoom in. I just can't, but that's hexagons. And I'm pretty sure it's that green. I mean, look, these quilts were 1937, I don't have a date on that, but the date of the album. Great question, Jill. Date on the album. Well, I mean, the quilts that I'm seeing in here, I'm seeing 1935, 1937. Ooh. Hold on. Okay. Swan. Galleries. But like, what is it listed as? Oh, here. Okay. By the way, it was sold. It was sold in October. Oh yeah, I didn't read you the description. Sorry. Okay, so it was sold in October of 2020 for $2,500. That was over the estimate that Swan Galleries set for it. The estimate was $1,000 to $1,500. They described it as a typological album with approximately 190 photographs of quilts made by women across the Midwest. Hang on. That's crazy, 190? I didn't think there were that many. Okay, here is the description. Showcasing numerous complex patterns and designs with each page devoted to one or two specific quilts. Oh yeah, okay. Showing detailed shots, images of the quilt hanging and sometimes on the bed. The quilts appear to be made by women living in the Midwestern United States, many of whom are identified by name and location. Silver print, the images primarily measuring 3.5 inches, 7.6 by 13.3 centimeters, and smaller, and the reverse, the sheets slightly larger, mounted and in corners, recto verso, many with the name of the maker, the name of the pattern, other identifying details, and sometimes dates, in white pencil below the images. Brown leatherette, lightly worn, tied binding, 1930s to early 40s. Set alert for similar items. I was like, Okay, so down here. So this is just crazy. This is crazy. Okay, I gotta catch up here on the chat. You were not the one that bought it. Yeah, me neither. Okay, yeah. So this is, look at the quilting on this. You can tell in this picture, really, that quilting. I mean, and by the way, you know, kit quilts get a really bad rap, but there's a lot to the kit quilt that needs to be revisited. Okay. Oh my God. Pride of Iowa. Hall and Kretzinger. See, now this is a place, this is a moment where, you know, if we did like a quiz or like some sort of prize or something. I mean, Hall and Kretzinger. Hey, Rose. Rock so cool. Rock so cool. Subscribe to Tier 1. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's really, really cool. I really appreciate that. These quilts are amazing. I know, right? Isn't it crazy? And it's a video of someone turning a page of quilt pictures in a scrapbook. I mean, come on. This whole point of the show is to just blow people's minds, right? And get out of the quilt world and find quilts in the world, right? And every time I hit my lamp. Every time. And that's how you know it's a good show. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Excellent. Okay. So I'm so glad that everyone is here. It's just phenomenal. Okay. So that Rose Hall and Kretzinger. Anybody know those names? Hall and Kretzinger, Rose Kretzinger. We'll talk about it. But it's very those are very famous names, and we will come back to them. Okay. But if somebody knows who they are, I feel like you should get some kind of prize. Okay. This quilt up here, I have seen this kind of quilt before. It is one of my least favorite quilts. It's like a kitchen sink kind of deal. In color, I'll find an example of it. It's just like pink and green and yellow, and it's just a lot. It's a lot. Oh, that's a good question. Excellent. Yeah, if anybody else, 30 photos of the same quilt. That's interesting. I don't know that I have done that. It's a good idea. Shirley McLeod made this one, blue and white. Oh, that's so interesting. They had to put what colors they were because they weren't taking in color film. When was color film a thing? Hold on. This is why, if they were just pretty, if they were just like blankets, this show I wouldn't. But the quilts are about so much more. When was color film like commercially available, or like why would you have a reason to ask that and know that? It's a very interesting thing to know. And we want to know, we have an occasion to know because somebody took a picture of their quilt and they're like, well, how is anyone going to know what color it is? Unless I write it down. Blue and white. It's fascinating. Okay. Color film history. It's not my best Google search, but no. Okay. Color film widely available after color film since the 1930s. By 1960, they were so far away from having color photos of their quilts. By 1960, color was much more common, but still tended to be reserved for travel photos and special occasions. So, can you believe, like, we take for granted that we take pictures of our quilts and that's what they look like. But that wasn't the way, you know? Val, you got it. I know. I had no idea. Color film, not a thing for anybody but, like, National Geographic until, like, it was the motion picture. Okay, so now some of you probably were thinking like color movies and stuff, right? But that's motion pictures, and that's in the 50s. But like people having color film was later. This is that was my top hit, okay, from Wikipedia. Color film. By 1960, color was more common, but still tended to be reserved for travel photos and special occasions. So, anyway, yeah, and like, then the Polaroid and everything. Anyway, it's so interesting. Your kid photos are black and white. Hey, you know what? Black and white photos to me are still just like, I don't know. They just always look so good. But there is something kind of like, I mean, it's a wonderful photo album, right? But what's missing? Color. We can't tell. We can't tell what they are unless they wrote it down. So this is really interesting. Now this, okay, brick house. Brick house. She's a brick house. Somebody mentioned this when we were passing, while the video was playing. This one down here, I wish I could scroll. I'm sorry that I can't, but I can't even click on it or it'll play the video. But this brick, look at that. Isn't that amazing down there on the lower left? Look at that. It looks like a prison. I mean, with like this little weird window up there. That's so crazy. This is what I mean, but well, quilts used to be weirder. Well, I don't know. Most of these quilts seem pretty conventional, but that's weird. I love it. Baltimore Beauty, made by Baltimore Beauty. Ooh, this one says pieced and quilted in 1875. This one up here, upper right, 1933, sampler quilt, friendship quilt. Okay. I mean, this kind of, the thing is, this kind of, hey, McHicks. So glad you're here. Glad you're here. Tonight's just a wild show. It's wild. Okay, we're going to keep going here. We're looking at an old scrapbook. That's on a fancy auction site. Okay, pause. And like, okay, so like I write it in a journal. I write 1,000 pages a year or something like that. I've mentioned it before. I write in my journal and it's so important to me. And like, I write to myself. It's, you know, it's a closed system, right? It's a scrapbook, if you will, of like my life, you know? And I honestly believe that it is probably the best thing that I can possibly do in my life for my fellow man is to write down my life. Honestly, candidly, fearlessly. Because one day, it's not that I'm special. I'm not special, but I'm a person and I live now and I'm writing it down. What I feel, what's happening, what happened, everything. Because one day somebody might have a show on Twitch and oh God, and you know, but these records matter so much, and you can probably bet somebody was like, ugh, Like you're working on your scrapbook again, or like, oh, you're going to the church to work with that lady on the scrapbook of quilts, like whatever. You know, I'm not saying that happened, but like these things take time. But then these records, these documents like this, they're priceless. Having the names of the blocks, having the colors written down, having the dates and the names. I mean, for real. It's just really good when people keep records like that, because later they're really important, you know? You know what I'm saying? No, Rose, very good. I'm sorry, Rose. Rock's so cool. I'm going to call you Roxy. Roxy. Or Rox. This is just, the whole scrapbook was for sale at an auction and was sold last year. So the quilts were just, the pictures are what they were selling within this scrapbook. Look at this. This was called Slipper Bow. Beautiful slipper bow. Love that. Love that for you. Yeah. Drunkard's Path. Classic. Mexican Star. Look, they called this Mexican Star. Strange. Interesting. Different. All right, let's keep going. Look at that kit quilt up there. Birds, trees. I'm all about it. Love it. Okay. I'm gonna keep Roxy. Okay, it's Roxy. Okay, good. I'm gonna keep going, but if I go too fast over something you want to see, look at this little guy. Mexican design, 1937. Oh, look at him. Well, that's very artistic. He's just hanging out. It's kind of sad. I mean, he's just in this. It's really depressing, actually. They are amazing, aren't they? He's just hanging out, kind of downcast. I don't know if she was going for that or she just ran out of steam. I don't know. Here, you see, this is another version of that quilt I said I didn't particularly care for. This like kitchen sink, sort of, I don't know, just a little bit much. Okay, let's keep going. There's one that I really want to look at. Yeah, this is deeply nerdy. Oh. I made 2 new emotes. Okay, so you've got like if you're a subscriber, I think if you're a subscriber, you get to access the emotes. There's a smiley face, there's the Quilt Church emote, which will always stay there, and a Heart Plus emote. These are like emojis, okay? But in Twitch, they call them emotes. Yes! Okay, so Myra just used one. This is one of the things on my business list to tell you. There's a bee now, and there's a mortar board, like a, college graduate, like a graduate cap. I put 2 new emotes in there. The graduate cap, Myra, can you access the graduate cap and put it in there? Well, the bee, Myra just put, she posted the bee emoji, okay, or the bee emote. And that's for when we're mad about something. Because, we get a bee in our bonnet about something, like last stream where we're like getting all, upset. And so the bee is for like when we're talking about content that's like annoying or like, problematic or, whatever it is. You put the bee and it's like, oh, this makes me mad, so you can use the bee. Okay. Well, yeah, it is like a quilt bee, but the bee that I picked is angry. Okay, there's no graduate cap yet. Okay, yes. Okay, I'm gonna work on all that. I was working on it today, and I'm gonna figure it out. Yes, the Heart Plus is there, good, and you should be able to use the Quilt Church, and you should be able to use the smiley face. I think it has something to do with subscribing and all that. I mean, I'm figuring it out, but it's interesting that the bee is there. That's good. Okay. Anyway, so but the reason I mentioned it is because this is a very nerdy moment, like looking at the scrapbook of old black and white, pictures. And so it would be a good time for the cap and gown emote, which I have labeled learning. So you can be like, learning, cap and gown. Okay. Anyway. Okay. More kit quilts. Okay. There's a pictorial quilt, Fisher Boy, down here, 1940. The graduate cap, yeah, for learning. like I'm learning. It's just really a nerdy thing to do. Dorky. It's dorky thing to do. Like, this is fun. I'm learning. Like, I'm gonna put a cap and gown or a graduate cap. we have our fun, you know. Okay, whoop. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Lots of kit quilts, Okay, They're beautiful, they're wonderful. Okay, that, yeah. Another pictorial kind of thing. You love the bee? Okay, good. I love that. I love the bee too. Just mad as a bee, you know. And he's cute though. Hey, Rox has a cool heart emote. I like that. Yeah, and the quilt block, by the way, Myra, the quilt block thing to unlock has to do with like, oh wow. Ah. No. What are you doing? What? No. What happened? It has to do with subscriptions and things. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so there's one more quilt I want to, this one specifically. Stop. That one. I really wanted to see that one. I think that's a pretty remarkable quilt. You like the bee? Okay, good. Oh, wow. You took a beekeeper course over Zoom. It's amazing. This is really neat. Pine forest. It's kind of Art Deco, you know? Kind of like, yeah, good. It feels a little bit Art Deco. It doesn't have a date, but we're seeing this woman a lot, quilted by Mrs. McLeod, or, you know, Mac. I think it's McLeod. And a lot of her quilts were made in like 1937, 1935. So that's the era. It's very cool. You know, yeah, this is what happens to me is like, now I want to look up like pine forest quilt pattern, because, you know, that might be a thing. But it could have been a kit. Okay, we're almost there. Very cool. Yep, kits, cool. Yep, okay, lot going on. I'll put this link in the Discord. Wait, whoa. Oh, yeah, she went back, okay. Interesting. Okay, What's going on there? Wait, what is this? What is that strange? It's like it's got some sort of growth. That's weird. I've never seen that kind of thing. Wait, oh, it's the bed. Sorry. It's the bed frame. Do you see? It's like it's an optical illusion. Do you see what it is? Do you see what's going on? Eat a chip! Who said that? Eat a chip? Susan Michael! Sorry. Eat a chip. You see it, don't you? Oh, God. It did look like two little legs. This show is crazy. Saturday night. I don't know what's going on. But quilts on cowhides. Remember, I came up with that. Sorry. I got the giggles now. Ooh. Sorry. Do you see? Okay. Forget that it's a bed. You probably saw that it's the headboard or the footboard. Squint your eyes and pretend that you didn't see that immediately, and think about what I saw immediately. I saw this little thing. Whew. All right. It did look like two little legs. Okay. It's a 2-minute video, and we've got 30 seconds left. Okay. Whew. I like this girl's nail polish. She's like, I work at this gallery and I pay all of my paycheck in rent in New York City, but it's fine. Okay. Grandmother's flower garden. This is interesting. Chain of hearts. Oh, that's cool. You know what? Philly. Kevin? Don't you think? I know there's other modern quilters in the audience, but but that is a very cool motif, no? That feels very, you know, that seems to have like a modern flavor to it to me, you know? I like that. I like that. I think it's very cool. I don't know that, I mean, Tara Fonin, like, I don't know that I would say it's her, but I'm thinking of, like, some of her large shapes and her sort of interlocking pieces or something. She came to mind, but I'm probably, you know, I love her quilts so much. I'm always like, oh, Tara Fonin, I see her everywhere, right? But I don't know, there's something really sort of 21st century about that one. I like it a lot. I wonder if it was red. We'll never know. Chain of Hearts. Okay. Kevin is divine. Kevin. Oh, hey. Oh, Mouse. Oh, Mouse. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. What am I missing? No, yeah. The brick quilt. Totally weird. Brick house. Brick house. Wait. There's a person. Oh, yeah. What I was going to tell you is when I first opened this video, I was like very bitter. I was like, no, because I love old pictures of people, of quilts but people in the picture. People with their quilts in old pictures. I'm like, I love that. I love it. But then when I saw that they were just the quilts, I was like, okay, I'm not going to be like seized with like FOMO, basically, that I did not, that I do not possess this item. But here's a woman running out of the photo. Or maybe she's photobombing it. We don't know. We'll never know. But if there were people in all of these pictures, I would be pretty sad that I missed out on it because I just love... Oh, now look down here. This is like some sort of display, maybe in a store or something like that. Okay, and that's it. And what does it say? Someone asked, what does it say? Is that Abraham Lincoln on a ship? What is this? What is that weirdness? Look at that. That's like Abraham Lincoln at the captain's wheel. So what is this? Ugh. America, can we have a word, please? Maybe he was a sailor. I don't know. Okay. So that was it. What do you think about that? I think that was pretty amazing. I have never really found something like that. That was new to me. And really fun. Okay, so there's one other thing from this Swans gallery that I want to show you that was really interesting as well to me. And then I'm going to take a quick break. For my UK people, I know it's 1:45. Like, if you have to dip, I completely understand that. Oh, it's Uncle Sam. Oh, God. I'm sorry. It's Uncle Sam. But even, what is Uncle Sam doing steering a ship? What is this about? Oh, yeah, patriotism. Well, it seems like it's Lincoln. SJ, you are killing me today. What are you saying? When you want to fish all day, but you have to be at a black tie event at 5. Just wear the top out all day. Why not? What's going on, SJ? You're funny. Okay. Thank you, Susan. Kate. Oh, God. I'm punchy. Okay. Uncle Sam. Oh, ridiculous. Okay. Here's the other one. And then I'm going to take a quick break. Yeah, I was going to say that for folks in the UK, it's getting late. I know. I should probably, not take a break, but close the show. But I'm not going to do that. I'm having way too much fun to do that. So I'm just going to keep going. And if you can hang out, I hope you will. So here's the last thing from Swan Gallery. And I'll take a break, and then I'll come back, and we'll talk about these quilts, these patriotic quilts that are queued up right here, and they're queued up right there for you. We're going to look at them, and we're going to talk about them and talk about the price of them. And then we have to look at Patchwork Girl. And that's just the way it's going to be. So this is this quilt. Okay. I thought I pulled it. Yeah, I did. Okay, I had it pulled up in a window, in this window. But then Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I did. Okay. Yeah. No, I've got it. Don't hide sidebar. Show my thumbnails. Yes. You see? See how prepared I am? I'm very prepared. But not that way. Okay. All right, here we go. View full screen. This is like a total one-off. This is very brief, but I love this. It's completely, it's very random. And you might be able to help me, actually, with this particular quilt. You all are very good at, I don't know. You know a lot of things. You knew what, oh, crap. Hold on. What was the fiber we looked at? Kapor? Yeah. I think. Yes, it's cows. Yes, it is cows. Kapor, right? Remind me what the word was. I know it had K, A, and P in it. Anyway, so this is yes, it is another cowhide. That's right, SJ. You. This quilt I love. I love this quilt. And you're going to love it more when you learn that it was made in 1976. It was sold for $6,500. K-Poc, thank you. $6,500. The estimate was $2,500 to $3,500. It was sold. It's $5,200. Okay. It was sold at some point. It's by an artist, Elaine O'Neill. And here's the thing, K-Poc. Here's the thing about Susan O'Neill, because believe me, I looked into it. And there is a woman who makes textile art. It's Elaine O'Neill from the listing in the chat now. There's a woman named Elaine O'Neill who makes like textile art, but I don't think it's her. She'll be the person who comes up right away when you Google like Elaine O'Neill quilt, but I don't think that's the same person. I could be wrong, but the style of this quilt and her, but I don't know. If you can find out, that's great. But there's another Elaine O'Neill who was sort of like, who makes sense, an artist who would sort of make sense in this particular time period, and her work, she does a lot of photography, seemed to be more in line with what I was sensing from this quilt. Anyway, it's so Warhol, right? Totally. So here's the deal. Here's what it says. A multi-paneled cyanotype cow quilt. Yeah, a cow quilt. It's a quilt. Okay, so a multi-paneled cyanotype cow quilt entitled Rather See Than Be One. It's called Rather See Than Be One. Clever. A unique quilt with 192 silhouetted cows in a grid, 4 per fabric panel. Non-quilt people don't know how to write about quilts, but it's okay. Each cow outlined in red thread. Oh, interesting. Huh. Cool. Oh, okay. Well, the cow isn't outlined, dude. It's the block. The cow isn't outlined. Each block is outlined, but that's fine. See what I mean? The full quilt backed and bordered in a rich red. Each cyanotype measuring approximately 4 by 5.5 inches, or 10 by 14 centimeters. The full quilt measures 72 by 67 inches, or 182. God bless it. 183 by 170 centimeters. 1976. I love it. I just absolutely love it. I think it's amazing. I wish that I owned it, but I don't. So it's 72 by 67. It's pretty, it's big for a wall hanging, but that's what I do with it. Well, maybe not. Maybe I would totally use it like, on the couch, but it's so beautiful. It's so expensive. I wouldn't probably use it on the couch, but it's fabulous, isn't it? I just love it so much. So if you ever find anything else about and Elaine O'Neill, who was born in 1946, who would have made this quilt, I would really like to know if she did anything else like this or what her body of work looks like. 1976 is a hell of a time to be making a cool quilt like this. That's part of the reason I think it's so fantastic, you know? Because there was a lot of quilting going on, but there wasn't as much of this, or there was, but it was not, you know, this is a quilt made literally in the year of the bicentennial. It's red, white, and blue. Hey, didn't think about that until now. It's red, white, and blue, but like, I don't know. I have so many questions, and I love it, and I wish it was mine, but it is not. Okay, so I am going to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back. My husband ate pot roast, and he's just dead to the world. I mean, he is out. So what else am I going to do? I'm just going to hang out with you. Okay. I hope you'll stay. I hope you stick around, and I will see you. Charles, I see you. I see you making your jokes. Watch movies under it. It's very good. I approved. Fully approved. Okay, I'll be right back. Get some crisps. I'll be right back. Got it. Okay, we're back. Yeah, I got some chips. I refreshed. I have water. I have wine. So here's what we're going to do. A brief note about this Discord thing. Okay, what is it? Because I've got it all pulled up here, and I want to show you what this is about. And I worked on it today. I really did. I worked on getting this thing set up because there's a lot of stuff that I am learning about Twitch that is, you could call it, what the heck? It's sort of back end stuff, you know, the stuff that I'm working on, you know, on my side of things. But the Discord is, you know, it's a public facing kind of thing. So I felt like it was a priority to kind of get this thing put together so that, because you all can use it while I'm working on all that other stuff. So, okay, wait, hold on. So I made a thing, okay? So I'm going to show you the thing that I made. But first, I'm going to show you this is discord.com. I just hate that it's called Discord, but it is, okay? It is. So there's something, oh yeah, I gotta rename it Quilt Nerd. Let's just do that right now. It's easy. No, it isn't. Okay, fine. So I've got a link for you, and I've got something that's very helpful. I made a very pretty like PDF thing, okay? That's going to tell you more about this thing. The Discord server is basically a big chat room. Discord is a chat room platform, and we have a Quilt Nerd Discord, and there are channels in it. Okay, so all you have to do is be invited to the Discord, and all of you are invited, and I will put the link in. In fact, I'll put it in the chat right now, this very second. Okay, here we go. If you click on this link right now, you will be able to access this Discord. Okay, it doesn't look like much. In fact, it's really not attractive, Discord. I wish it could be more attractive. Maybe there's something I can do to it. Hey, nice, there's people coming in. So what it does is it allows us to talk to each other and post pictures and have discussions when the show isn't on. And that's great. And a lot of Twitch people have Discords, you know, like I mentioned earlier. So here's what I made. I made channels, and I made a channel guide. Okay? I spent a long time on this, and it was probably wouldn't have taken quite so long, except my program did not save my work, and it's always saved my work, this thing, but it didn't. So I'm going to open this up in just 1 second. It's a big chat room where we can all hang out. Here's where I was chatting with Myra about her anniversary, and Jill, saying hi to Jill. You can just chat here, okay? And there's these different channels. So there's a lobby, okay? So that's the lobby channel, and I'll tell you what that means. There's making, okay? There's Newswire, okay? Eye candy. Oh, okay. So Jill bought those quilts, right? She bought the quilts. Well, she's put pictures of them in the Discord. Maybe I'm like taking this too slow, and y'all are like, we know Discord. Get on with it. Amazing. So we can look at the quilts Jill bought. Amazing. There's an episode discussion channel. Okay. Who is here? Jill is here. And there's a show info channel that I added today. Okay. So it's pretty simple. Like once you're invited to the Discord, you're in. And here is what I made for us today. Okay? I'm very proud of this. Am I a graphic designer? No, I am not. Did I use a template? Yes, I did. Is it successful? I don't know. But here's the deal. So this is the Discord channel guide, and I put this PDF in the show info channel in our Discord. And I'm going to share with you what it's all about here. Okay, so the Discord channel guide for Quilt Nerd with Mary Fons on Twitch. The lobby is where you can say hi, you can chat about anything. You'd be like, I took my dog to the vet. Like, how's he doing? He's doing great. You know, it's for anything. Just hang out in there. Anyone new, if anybody new shows up, I hope that everybody who's been around will welcome them and make them feel welcome. So that's the lobby, whatever, anything goes. And then, okay. Hang on now. Okay, so there's, okay. So I set that link to never expire. I'm new to this, by the way. I'm new to this. So I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna put this one in. Okay, that link I just put in is from the PDF. When I made that link, I set it to never expire. The one that's on this PDF. So it should work. Now, one thing that will happen is soon I will be boosted. This is like all just like very new for you, and it is new for me. I will shortly have a discord.com/quiltnerd. Okay, because this link is like, it's so awful and ugly and clunky and terrible, right? But until I don't know, maybe I have to pay for it, but I'm not sure. But don't worry, I will get a dedicated like Discord/quiltnerd, you know? But it doesn't happen right away. I don't know. Soon it will be that, and then you'll get an invite and all that. But if anybody in the chat is having trouble, if someone can help them, that would be great. If not, we will figure this out. The Newswire, pretty self-explanatory. This is news that you see. Is there an exhibit? Is there a fashion show that used quilts? Is there a new book out? Are there articles? Is there an article that we should read about like that fashion, the G's Bend thing we talked about last time? I mean, basically anything you would want to send to me for a tip, you know, like, oh, hey, check this out. Did you see this? It goes in the Newswire channel and everybody can like hang out and talk about it. Episode discussion. This channel is for further discussion about content on the Quilt Nerd broadcast. Remember to note the episode number in your comment. I'm getting there. And the rules are listen, don't make stuff up, and be kind, even when you're mad. Things are going to get heated, and the more people who come in here, the more it's going to happen. And that little thing in there, remember to note the episode number in your comment. Who went through all of the episodes of Quilt Nerd / Quilt Church and numbered them? Me. I did. We have to number these episodes because now that we have this Discord and we're going to hang out and talk about stuff, how are we going to know what show we're talking about? So I numbered them all. I mean, there were like 37 or something. But yeah, I went through. And now, you know, Twitch, once the show is over, Twitch records all the shows and then it puts it on my Twitch channel for watch or video on demand, right? You can watch back a recorded version of the live show. But after 60 days, they disappear. Gone. So I upload them all to YouTube. And so I went to YouTube and I numbered all the videos there too. Some of them, I don't know if they're missing or not. But anyway, going forward, every episode gets a number. Every episode's uploaded to YouTube. And then when you're in the Discord talking about episode discussion, you can be like, oh, I found something. In episode 27, there was this thing about blah, blah, blah. I found in episode whatever this is, like Elaine O'Neill, I found her. And here's the link about it, or here's her contact information or whatever. Eye candy, simple as it gets. If it's a quilt or quilt adjacent object and it's gorgeous or otherwise fascinating, it belongs here. Let us know where you found it and enjoy the eye candy. If you have a link, or if it's just a quilt you saw. I had different writing there, different description for this particular channel. It was like, if you don't know where you found it, it's okay to post anyway. But it is. I mean, if you don't know where you have this picture from an old scrapbook maybe that you found at a flea market, definitely post your stuff. If you know who made it, if you know where you got it, obviously you're going to put that in there. But if it's a random thing, say it's a random thing, but I want to share it, it'd be great. The making channel, show us your UFOs, your whips, works in progress, or your FMs, your finished masterpieces here, because we love to see it. And then the show info channel I made today about the schedule, announcements, info, just other housekeeping things. So that invitation link, so elegant in its look. Does seem to be working, okay? So that's what I made. See the patchwork behind it? The patchwork behind it is from a quilt made in 1726. Did that woman know that when she was making her quilt, it would end up here? No. She didn't even know what here was, right? So, so that's what's going on here. So if you look at making, look, people, oh, yay! I love Quilt Church too. So look, everybody's, they're talking about the Bronte workshop, really wonderful stuff. I mean, just great. This is great. It has to exist. It's like the little sister to the show, Hey everybody. Oh, I love you people so much. Okay, great. So that's it. That's what's going on. Oh yeah, and then the show info, I also made this thing. I made some, oh yeah, look at that. I was really doing my layouts today while I was listening to Twitch tutorials. Okay, so there's the schedule. And speaking of the schedule, we are sewing tomorrow. I mean, I'm going to be sewing tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central. The past month, except for last week with the Bronte workshop, I just turn on the camera and we can sew together. I haven't sewn all week, so I'm excited. So 10 a.m. Central, same place on Twitch. I'll set up my sewing and we'll just hang out. And I really want to do that because I haven't sewn, and it's a very, very cool thing to get to do with y'all. So, okay, that's what's going on with the Discord. I did it. Check. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Got to pull up the stuff here. Okay. Now check this out. You're gonna love this stuff. You're gonna get that out of there. Gonna go over here. Yeah. See, we're all ready. Already. Can you hear those people? Those people like carousing. London is, the nightlife in London is really, there's a lot of it. It's great. Okay. Look at this quilt. This quilt is pretty amazing, right? It reminds me of Yvonne Wells a little bit. You know who that is, but it isn't. So I have close-ups. I have many pictures of this quilt that I'll show you. So we'll get to see those people up there. It's incredible. I gotta get the chat here. Hang on one second. Okay, sorry. Now I can do this. Sorry, I'll just let you look at it for a second because I have to get that. Sorry, I have to do something. There, okay. I think that these houses, these auction houses, there's a lot of Patriotic Quilts that they sell because obviously what is going on here? They must do very well with the Patriotic Quilts because there's so many of them. Here we go. So that's why I have 3 Patriotic Quilts to show you tonight because they kind of show up a lot. Okay, sorry. Okay, this quilt, and this is down here at the, okay, we'll take a look, Marianne. There's a reason. Okay. Oh, good, Charles. I'm so glad. Diane Rose is not on YouTube yet. Oh, really? Okay, that's really good to know. Okay, baby steps. Down at the bottom. Okay, down at the bottom, Stars and Stripes Forever. Do you see that? I've just, this quilt to me, like there's something about it that, to me, with these people up here and this, what, look at that. Look at this. It doesn't, to me, I can't believe this quilt is for sale. It's $15,500. And to be honest with you, I'm not some curator, I'm not some, textile expert person buying things for collectors or museums. But this thing is a masterpiece to me. I think it is unbelievably cool and beyond fascinating and wonderful. I don't know. I mean, am I wrong here? It is, by the way, let's go look at the dimensions here. Let's see. I just think it's amazing. Joey Van Camp's flag quilt on Insta. I have not. We should look at it then, yeah? So here's what First Dibs says about this. This fabulous 48-star, Joey Veldkamp. Okay. This fabulous 48-star patriotic quilt has the embroidered title Stars and Stripes Forever. The stripes of the flag are created in an unusual way. Okay, sorry, let's go to look at the stripes. Okay, we'll go back to that picture. The stripes of the flag are created in an unusual way. Rather than using horizontal strips, the maker made her work much more difficult by using short diagonal strips. Didn't Luke Haynes do that with his flag quilt? I think he did. We'll look at that too. It gives something of the effect of the flag waving in the breeze. The indigo border, rarely seen in patriotic quilts, interesting, beautifully sets off the flag. In the upper right-hand corner are appliqued and embroidered images of Betsy Ross, George Washington, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Calvin Coolidge, and Herbert Hoover. The other guys are down there. The date, 1922, was sewn on the bottom white border. The stitches were removed, but the date is still visible. Is there another? Nope. I don't have a picture of that. Of the date. It's possible. The stitches were removed, but the date is still visible because the figural images were added at a later date. I was going to say 1922. This mystery adds to the charm of the quilt. The quilt has been professionally laundered and is in excellent condition. It is from the Gettysburg area of Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. I'm dead. I'm dead. Because that kills me. And here's what it is. What is this little like this little trailing off of like American figureheads? It's so weird that there's this little collection of stuff over here. Isn't it wonderful? It's so great. I love it so much. It's so great. I love that the flag is square. I love that this is down here. Look at the way the flagpole comes down, pass out of the frame. It goes out of the frame of the flag. It's ridiculous. And then these, and the stitching. I just think it's magnificent. I don't know. I love it. If I was rich as Midas, I'd buy it. And I'd hang it up in my house, and then I would give it to a museum. That's why I'm surprised that it's here. Doesn't a museum want this quilt? I don't know. I just think it's awesome. Anyway, so there's that. Someone added to it, yeah. Well, we gotta look at this Joey guy. Joey Van, Susan, you said it's Veldkamp. Yeah. It does look like Rick Rack. Okay. Yeah. So here's another flag quilt coming up. And this is really cool too, by the way, this quilting. So this actually, there's a quilt block called Sugar Cone? No, not Sugar Cone. Oh, what am I thinking of? Not Sugar Lump. I'll think of it. It's not Sugar Cone, that's a border. Okay, anyway, but it reminds me, so it's got kind of a patchwork motif, right? This sort of like the diamonds, the triangles inside the triangle. But then this is a really cool motif, you know? Like sometimes I wonder about like quilting motifs, you know? Like I don't do enough quilting right now. I'm starting to do hand quilting, and it's like, how do I want to quilt this quilt? Well, I like those little kind of shell shapes. Easy enough, right? Sort of make two lines and make little arcs in between them, you know? Sugarloaf, thank you. Thanks, Sugarloaf. Maybe I should tell Eric to start calling me Sugarloaf. Okay, here's another quilt. We have 3 Patriotic Quilts. This is the next one. These are all from first dibs. Yeah. That's enough out of you, SJ. What'd you have for an after dinner snack over there? You're very funny tonight. Maybe I should tell Eric to call me Box of Donuts. Hey, Box of Donuts. So this quilt, what about this one? Oh, it's getting wild now. What if I was like, what if I smoked a lot of weed, you know? Like, how would this show be different? I can't. It just does not agree with me. Ugh. It makes me tired and hungry or snacky and paranoid. And I don't know. It's awful. It's just awful. Okay, here's the deal on this. This quilt is $9,700. Now, Jill, we're going to look at your quilts. We got to look at them because... I mean, and look, the quilts, I just glanced at the quilts you bought. You know, I didn't see like a pictorial sort of, you know, this quilt is unusual and it is remarkable, right? Like it's special. It's a very special quilt. Every quilt is special, and the ones that you bought today, like we're going to look at them because we all want to see them, right? And love them. But this one is, you know, is striking because it's pictorial and it was probably something. Let's read about it. Exactly, Jill. Same. If I smoked, I would definitely eat a box of donuts. Yeah. There's a place in London called Donut Time, and there's a bunch of them around the city. And whenever we pass one, it's like one of us will say, like, "Do you know what time it is? It's donut time." Patriotic Flag Quilt, Old Glory, $9,700. Okay. Nothing could be more of the moment than this patriotic flag quilt depicting Old Glory. This is from First Dibs. It was most likely made for either the admission of Arizona into statehood on February 14th, 1912, or during World War I, which took place from 1914 to 1918. In either case, its timelessness remains. The quilt is beautifully executed with the stripes. It's true. They're not wrong. The quilt is beautifully executed with the stripes truly having the appearance of blowing in the wind. I mean, look, down here, like I couldn't draw a flag that looked like it was blowing in the wind. This is amazing. Like just this corner. It's really good. It's really good, man. And look at the flagpole, the way it's an artist. An artist made this, you know. It's so great. The flagpole is done with considerable detailing, and the tassel wrapped around it is exceptional. It's true. Quilting is done with diagonal lines. Yes, simple quilting. I mean, this look the flag, the red and white looks like fabric. I mean, it looks like it's a stripe fabric. It's seamless. It's freaking amazing. It's amazing. And what is going on here? Like, how is it? Is it appliqued? What's going on here? Whoa. Seriously, what is this? What's happening here? I sound so angry. Wait a minute. Now, but you see what I'm asking? Like this. Is that pieced? Tell me if that's not pieced. it's 12:23 in the morning. So in London. So like, I got a lot of energy, but I'm probably missing a few cues. How is... Hey, Ipsalala. I'm so glad that you came. It's wild. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. And have a good and a safe time, and a Zoom wedding. Well, happy wishes to them. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Okay. The blue stripe is beautiful. It's just all just amazing. So that's applique. Thank you. Okay, right. Exactly. It's got to be applique. But that's the thing, SJ. Look, that's the thing. Reverse applique. That's what I'm trying to say, because that, I mean, it looks like it's cut into the, the flag looks like it's been cut into the blue, That's why I was wondering. It's like, well, it's applique, except it's so tight that, like, what's going on there? You know what I'm saying? Reverse applique. Is there another picture? Yeah, okay. Oh, no, okay, that's the next quilt. It's just really, really interesting because it doesn't, well, okay, do we see stitches there? Maybe we do. Hang on. Are those needle turn stitches there? I don't know. And that looks like, that right there looks like a, not ribbon, what am I trying to say? Satin stitch, but it isn't, is it? It's not. It's not a satin stitch. Along here. I don't know. It's wild. It's just so damn good. It's hard to tell. I know, I'm not into patriotic quilts either, except I like the bicentennial patriotic quilts. I like those just because they were made in the 70s, and I'm super into that moment, that kind of 70s moment. Anyway, I will put all of this, that'll be so nice. After every show, I'll put links to everything in the Discord, because after the show, it takes me a second to wind down. So I make the thumbnail for the video for Twitch and YouTube, and now I can put all the links in the Discord, and that will help me stop thinking about it. No, it won't. I think about this show all the time. You just need to know that. And then this pieced border. Let's take a look at the full quilt again. Hang on. Ugh. Those stars. Ugh, I'm dead. Yeah, amazing, right? Really, really good. Really good. It's just great. It's just great. That blue is really interesting too. Yeah, it just shows up a lot. Like, I don't know, I'm thinking of a lot of different quilts I've seen. Like the Century of Progress quilts, those came later if this was made in the 20s, but there's this like powdery sky blue that just, I don't know, I just see it a lot. Okay, so any other thoughts here? You're patriotic after all. Roxy, we're all a little bit patriotic, are we? I don't know. I am. I'm an American. It's just so complicated. Okay, so then the last one, look at this one. Here's this one. Oh, sorry, what year? Okay, so this, the last one we saw, the wonderful waving in the, it said it was made either for the admission of Arizona into statehood on February 14th. Oh, it didn't tell you how big it was. February 14th, 1912, or during World War I, which took place from 1914 to 1918. So right there, 1910 to 1920. I don't think they don't talk about why. Arizona, there's some provenance that somebody knows something about, right? And if you purchase this for $9,700, which honestly, I have to say, it doesn't seem that insane to pay. Sorry. Well, I don't know, but it's art. It's a work of art. It's a work of art, and it's a quilt, and it's like, well, I could spend other people's money easily. Okay. Yeah, I know. Well, now the thing is, Roxy, is that this one, to me, this is full on like bicentennial quilt. I think, but one of the reasons I pulled it for y'all is because they date it much earlier. Hey, Sibby Mac, you've entered into like some kind of zone. There's a zone that I'm in. I've been on for 2.5 hours, and I'm not going anywhere because we have more to talk about. I'm so glad you're here, Sibby Mac. Everybody, Sibby Mac is like, she's one of the originals. Like the people that when we have an event, they're gonna get little badges, that say like, I was there, when Mary cried and, didn't know what was happening. And I don't know. Sibby's great. Sibby's great. And I'm really glad you're here, Sibby. And, welcome. Okay. Feeeling, Arizona was the 48th state. Oh, such a great observation. Because there were 48 stars, right? In that quilt? No, that was the first one we looked at. Hang on. The first one we looked at, don't get dizzy. I gotta speed through these photos. Hang on. Sibby Mac, you're gonna have to watch the replay because there's cool stuff happening in this. This was the quilt that had 48 stars, but I was thinking of it, Feeeling, because that would would point to some sort of Arizona connection if you know what I'm saying. Okay, I think I'm a little bit tired, but I'm pushing. No, I'm not pushing through. I have a ton of energy, but my brain might not work as well as it did at the beginning of this episode. Okay, so here we have this one. Now, I believe you all may be able to tell me differently. Petty points or prairie points. That's the border here. Prairie points or petty points. That's what I know them as. So here's what's weird about this one, because I look at this and I'm like, oh, well, it's 1970s. Bicentennial quilt, 1000%. There was a zillion of them made. The fabrics look like that era. It just seems like it could be that. But they don't date it in the 70s. They date it modern improv, yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. The maker isn't getting, that's a whole thing. Yeah, who are you paying when you buy this quilt? I know. Quilts, man. It's like they're interesting for 90,000 reasons, and one of them is because like nobody signed it. Like that quilt we just saw, like it doesn't have a name on it. It's crazy. It's crazy that it doesn't, but it doesn't. And you can buy and sell paintings that, don't have names on them, but those aren't worth anything, right? I guess, or maybe I don't know. But it's just crazy to me that work of art wouldn't have a provenance, and I don't know. Maybe the person's family will get money, but if we knew who made it, they would say, this quilt was made by at this time, and it doesn't say that, so we don't know. And it's just. I've been thinking a lot about the whole thing. Did I tell you all this on Tuesday? Maybe. I'm writing this article for the QuiltCon magazine about quilts and fashion, and I don't know. I cannot look anymore at these websites of all of these people cutting these quilts apart for clothes. We've talked about it a lot because it's a topic, that's really timely and about all the quilt clothes. And I bring it up a lot because I'm working on my lecture and I'm working on this article about it. But like, I was pretty like, hey, there's a lot of ways to look at this. And I do believe that there's, there's something to be said for taking an old quilt and making it into a jacket. And like, I get it. Okay. I get it. And I get it. But there are so many people doing this, cutting these quilts apart. It's really getting hard to like look at this now because I'm deep in it now. And some of these quilts, oh my God, like they are so great, and they're destroyed. And I just don't think it's worth it for like a really pretty coat. I don't. And I'm starting to have to accept that I'm like very against it, because when they really are threadbare, when these quilts really are tattered, in tatters, and there are designers, and I talked to one of them this week, I interviewed her. She was wearing a cute top, and it was made from a quilt, and it was totally busted, and it was great. It looked great, you know? But there are so many that are just, oh my, it honestly made me like want to cry at this point. I was like, no, that is not okay. That is so not okay. And so when I think about this quilt, you know, and like, and this one, and you'd hope nobody would, you know, do anything to this quilt, right? But the problem with what folks are doing with these quilts, and they're buying them by the pound at this point, and I'll have you know that the girl that I talked to this week, I was like, are quilts getting harder to find? Like, is it harder to get them now with all this competition? And she said, oh yeah. And then I said, do they cost more? And she said, yep. How about that? There is scarcity, and the cost is going up because they're harder to find. So that's cool. You'd hope that no one would cut up something like this, but it would make, if in the hands of a brilliant garment designer, it could be unbelievably beautiful, right? As a coat. It would be, sure. Like you could make it into some amazing garment. And I know I bring this up a lot, and because it's just the way it is. It's just what I'm working on. But things keep changing. I keep going from, or at the beginning I was like, hey man, the quilts are gonna decompose. Quilts are biodegradable. People who find these quilts in flea markets, those quilts ended up in the flea markets because no one wanted them, presumably, right? They ended up there for a reason. Nobody took care of them. Nobody wanted them. All right, we'll make them into something. But it's history, and it's women. It's like our history. And a lot of times we didn't get our history written down. And so we did it in other ways. And like, if you don't know what you're cutting into and somebody made it, like maybe just don't do that. And Eric and I talked about it. We go on these long walks at night and through London. I mean, I'm so lucky. I'm so grateful for my life right now. It's really great, you know. I get to walk around London and talk to Eric, and he's like, yeah, but you know, the kids these days, they got to experiment and they got to do this stuff. And some of them won't be doing much that's good with the quilts, though, you know, it's a shame, but someone really brilliant, you know, will do really brilliant things with it. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But if you don't really know what you're doing with something and you're just kind of farting around with it, maybe don't destroy it. like you know, it was a little bit more specific than that, his comment and my response. But it's like, somebody made a thing and you're just destroying it to make money on it. And I think that's part of it. It's like, experimentation is great, curiosity is great, you know, exploration is great. If you're an artist, you gotta do all kinds of stuff. But the problem is that they're destroying all of these quilts, thousands and thousands and thousands of them, to make $1. And I understand. We all gotta make a living. I get it. But it's weird that they say that all of these quilts that they use have lived their best life, that they're beyond use. But that's a lie. They're lying, because they're not beyond use, or they wouldn't make good jackets. So the final insult is that they call it ethical, like ethical fashion, ethically sourced, upcycling, environmentally responsible, ethically sourced upcycling. And I understand what they're saying, but I don't know. It was this week that it really got hard, and it really felt like a cemetery. So, yeah. And then I looked down, and Marianne's like, it seems like a quilt horror movie to me, for a garment that will go out of fashion. Marianne, God bless you. You're in London. You're up with me. Yes. You know what, Dee Marie? Hey, Marnie. Hey, Marnie. Yes. Okay, Marnie. Okay, first of all, welcome. Second of all, it's our first time chat. Everybody, welcome, Marnie. I'm so glad that you're here. And thank you, because that is what Eric said. He said, maybe the people who are doing these garments will develop a love for quilts. He said the same thing, Marnie. It's an excellent point. And I agree that it is an excellent point. And I really actually have nothing, there's no like yes and to that. It may be true. It will happen. Some of these people will be like, oh, I want to make quilts now. I worked with quilts. I was a garment maker and I worked with quilts. Yeah. And that would be good. Something that the girl said to me the other day was that it was hard to argue with her. I really, there's a wonderful word, aporia, Aporia, and that means sort of the feeling of seeing both sides of a situation or an argument at the same time. It's not very comfortable, but it's like where I want to be, because I want to see both sides of things. Nothing is ever black and white, and I learn more when I'm like, ah, crap, I really agree with that person about that. But I believe this, and so she said something, this young woman said something. She was like, I know that like cutting up quilts and stuff, like I know there's controversy or whatever. She's like, but y'all make a lot of quilts. And I was like, yes we do make a lot of them, we really do, and we keep making them, and we keep making them, and there's a lot of quilts out there, and it's true. But later I was like, yeah, but we're not making them for clothing. It's not a fashion pipeline that we're making them for. We're making them because they're quilts. They're not future garment material, So I've just been really I feel like a piece of silly putty just on this whole thing, for a long time, just really kind of, do this. And it just keeps changing, which is why it's just endlessly interesting. Oh God. Anyway. Yeah, I know, cutting up stuff. Oh God, I know. It's wonderful. Yeah, I know. The Bronte quilt, I know. Would you cut up a painting? I know. It's illegal to cut up a painting by another artist. It's so complicated and so heavy. It's so heavy and complicated. Because think about it. I'm thinking Balenciaga, right? Truly. Who would do this? Balenciaga or Dolce & Gabbana, except they're Italian and they probably wouldn't. But Balenciaga is not American, but my point is there's certain designers or certain fashion houses that could do so much with this motif, on the back of a jacket, or just some amazing thing. I love fashion. I love high fashion. But it's not fabric. It's a quilt, Anyway, and my challenge in the article, the article is not an editorial, and I pitched it very specifically to the editors, being like, I do not want to write a piece about this to give you my opinion, because who cares? I don't care. I don't want to tell you my opinion in a magazine. And I don't want to tell you my opinion in the lecture either. What is way more interesting to me is when somebody presents stuff to me and analyzes it a little bit for me to help me understand, and then I can make my own conclusions. And when I see a play where the playwright has an agenda or an axe to grind, some sort of political thing he wants to say or she wants to say, and the whole play is just their opinion, this character is just expressing their political opinion through the story. It's so awful, and so I don't want to it was my feminist lecture at QuiltCon. I did a lecture about feminist quilts. It was surprising to most people that I did not come out talking about how quilts are feminist and feminism is inherently, is inherent in quilts or whatever. It wasn't that way. I didn't want to do that, and I didn't do that. Because what good is that to just show my opinion? Or to tell my opinion and like get on my high horse. So that's not what the lecture is going to be either, about whether it's good or bad. But the facts are there that like there is a deforestation happening to these quilts. They're going away because social media has made the reach of this thing so huge. So huge. These fancy garments made out of quilts that have been made for a long time. Very, very, very few people could afford them, and very few people saw them, and it was just kind of not a big deal. And yes, and what I meant to say in closing, Mark, the brilliant Mark in the chat here in our community, he said, if you want to make a garment out of a quilt, make a damn quilt and cut that one up. But it won't have the emotional resonance, right? It won't have the patina. It won't have the symbolism of an old quilt. And that's why, sorry, one last thing. Sorry, I gotta say it. The other thunderclap realization I had this week, as a white person, you know, it's like, you know, white culture, American culture, whatever, we tend to like gobble up a lot of other, you know, well, it's that A word, appropriation, right? And like, I don't, that word is like, for a long time, I'm like, what does that even mean? Everybody, artists, fashion designers, were always drawing from other cultures, and other cultures are drawing from American culture, and like, it's all just a big melting pot, right? But you know, if you do this, you know, if you do a big fashion line, if you're like a white girl like me, you know, and like you do a big fashion line, you know, sashiko, and like you're just, you know, using all these Japanese motifs, and you don't really know that you're not really doing sashiko at all. You're doing big stitch quilting, right? We learned about the difference a few streams ago. You know, you're kind of like using how cool and resonant and symbolic, you know, this like Japanese technique is. Like, there's a lot there. There's a culture, and there's like history, and this really fascinating and complicated and beautiful, and you're just kind of like co-opting all of that to like sell a lot of stuff. And that's like appropriating it, right? You don't really know what you're talking about, and you didn't really ask, and you don't really care. And that's appropriating. It's not you know, you don't have to go to Japan and live there for 10 years and study under a, you know, master sashiko, you know, artist to be able to use sashiko. Of course you can. But when you start to really scale it and want to make a lot of money and like want to like really be public about your stuff, and you don't really care about the history of a thing, that's appropriating it. You're cashing in on stuff that you didn't have anything to do with, and it's disrespectful. Well, for the first time in my life, and not like I want to be like, I've been appropriated too. It's not what this is about. For the first time, I feel like I might understand what that's like. And like I said, I don't want to be able to like say, I feel appropriated as a quilter. It's not the point. I value this experience because I think I understand a little bit more about what it must feel like to have one's culture sort of like totally like appropriated. Because quilts have a culture and a history, and there's people involved, and there's a lot of time involved, and work and beauty and history, and there's all of this stuff, and every quilt is sort of soaked in that, you know, especially the ones from like the 19th century. And so when somebody comes in and it's like, oh my God, they're so like authentic, and they're like, oh my God, like they're so like, they like symbolize home, and they like make you feel like this way, and like, oh my God, and I'm like, I'm gonna like make clothes from them. It's like, I think you're appropriating quilts. I think you are, because you don't really know what you're cutting up. And And you don't have to be a quilter. You don't have to study quilts. You don't have to do that. But I think you should just know a little bit more about what you're doing before you whisk that all away from its like natural habitat to make into your fashion line. And it feels like shit. I mean, and it feels like shit. So I hadn't had the experience of even, and I don't even know if this is the case, but like, I think I understand a little bit about what it would feel like if someone came and, because I didn't feel that before. I didn't understand appropriation because it's usually, you know, folks like me that are just, like I say, gobbling up everybody else's culture to, to like turn a profit. You know what I'm saying? This is an uncomfortable situation for me because I might be saying something really ignorant, but all I know is that it started to really bother me this week because, and the reason I said it is because Mark said, if you want to make a quilt garment, make a quilt and make a garment out of it. But they don't want to do that because that's not the same. What you get from making a garment out of an old quilt is all of the old quilt's stuff. You're appropriating all of that. And I am so sorry. I am like, whew. Yeah? Okay, good, because I just went on a tear. Ha! I mean, yeah. Oh, hey! Oh, SJ, what is going on? Who are you? Anyway. Man, getting on a... I mean, yeah, you're all very, very good. Yeah, they're not, you can't make an old quilt anymore. Yeah. Yeah, the Damien Hirst, the shark guy. That's true. Yeah, I know. It's just, I know. It's tough, man. Yeah, that's true. The Little House on the Prairie and Japan connection is very interesting. Woof. Yeah, intention. President, yes. President, Mr. President. Kevin says a lot comes from intention. If you wear a kimono but are not Japanese, right, and you do it because you're honoring the history and tradition of kimonos, you think the story is more complex then. Yeah, totally. I mean, and yeah, exactly. Like you can wear certain garments or garments are, I mean, it's really interesting actually, because garments are it's such a hot point for all of this, right? I mean, it's like when somebody, the dreadlocks, on a an 18-year-old, white gal who goes down to the Bahamas or something, it's like, it is often about the body and what you're wearing and stuff, right? But anyway, so you're saying if you do it because you're honoring the history and tradition, yeah, and that's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean, Kevin. It's like if you want to do sashiko work in your quilts exclusively, and you're from like, Scranton, 1000% good. The idea that you would not be able to do that because that would not be like okay, that it would be problematic is asinine. No one has said this in this chat, but like it's not, I won't say asinine. It's like a tragedy, to me that anyone would be locked out of any kind of artistic pursuit or expression because they're not allowed somehow. And I think it's so easy to make it okay. And that is just to like educate yourself a little bit about it, like we learned the difference between sashiko and big stitch, and we did it because like a lot of us were like, what's the difference? And we just took the time to check it out, and that in itself, here's one of my favorite things ever, the word respect, right? When did I say this? I said this at some lecture at some point. The word respect, I learned this in grad school. It's re, which means again, right? The Latin roots of this. Re is again, repeat, right on. And spec is to look. So when you respect something, what you're doing is you look again. If you respect a thing, you look and then you look again, because you are giving it that time, and you're like your work, whatever it, or whatever it is, or whoever they are, it's like you look and then you look again, because it's worth it. It's worth your time. It's worth your energy. Yeah. And so to respect a thing is to look again. And I think when you look again at a thing, like a quilt, and really look at it and respect it, when they're really busted up, I love that someone's making them into something else. But it's just wrong when they say that these quilts are past use when they clearly are not. That's all. It's dishonest. Dishonest. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, respect. What do you do with a 120-year-old fragile quilt? Well, that's a great question. It's a great question. Okay. 120 years. Okay. So 120 years, you're talking about 1900. It's fragile. Okay. So most museums don't want these quilts because they're not special enough. They're not this one, this one that we're looking at. God, I've stayed on this quilt. Usually I like more visuals for you, right? A fragile quilt that's like, the problem, so Judgy, you're right. The problem with a fragile quilt is not just a fragile quilt, right? On its face it is, but it takes more, and I'm not an appraiser, and I'm an amateur historian, right? I do it for the love of all this. Amare, love, getting all of my Latin. I know, like, what I just told you, respect and love, that's all I know. But I don't know about appraising and how to trace provenance and stuff, but like on its face, this quilt you find in a flea market is a fragile quilt from 1910, and so cutting it up seems fine because it's old and nobody wanted it and all that stuff. And if it's really getting threadbare and the batting's showing through, like, I really am in favor of doing something with it. But you still don't know. Like, if there's no signature, I don't know. Maybe if I had taken that question earlier, I'd be better at it. I think it comes down to, like, it's women's history so often, and like, it's like I just want like some scanner, like maybe one day we'll just have like this like app where you can like scan a quilt and it'll be like beep, beep, beep. Like, no. This has, this particular batting in it, right? This has, a signature that you can't see that's like, we can see with infrared, I don't know, like on the inside, there's cotton seeds inside the batting that actually are really important to dating the quilt in this particular town in Alabama. There's just, anyway, I don't know. Lord have mercy. Oh, man. You know what I did think too? We're stopping this now. Oh, there you go. Is that it's like actually important for the history of fashion, though, to use these quilts as clothes, right? It's like, it's quilt history. You're ruining quilt history. It's like, well, you're ruining fashion history, Mary. By getting all butthurt about all these quilts. Anyway, everything's relative. Woo! Okay. It's almost 1 a.m. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you. The Patriotic Quilts, this is from First Dibs. I'm going to tell you this, and then I'll show you the Patchwork Girl, and then we will bring this to a close. And it's not that I don't want to get into the conversation. I want to get into the conversation, and I will read the chat back because I have started to read the chat back, which is nice. Before I close my window at the end of the night. But we can also continue this on the Discord, which would be great. Be nice. I don't have to tell you that, but Patchwork Girl, the story, Frank L. Baum, who wrote Wizard of Oz. We will close with that, and maybe I will give you all the task if you want to learn more about it and tell us later. But this quilt, Patriotic Quilts, First Dibs says, were often made at the time a state was admitted to the Union. It seems highly probable that this 49-star quilt, okay, that's interesting, was made to commemorate the admission of Hawaii in January 1959. Okay. The flag itself has 16 stars, and the surrounding field an additional 33. The fabrics are compatible with this time frame. They say that it was made between 1950 and 1959. So I was like, that's a bicentennial quilt. And reading about the stars, that's pretty strong, makes a strong argument for it being earlier. The fabrics are compatible. Okay, the quilt has been professionally laundered and is in excellent condition. It's nicely quilted. With several geometric patterns. The corner of each outer frame has a quilted heart. Oh, the corner of each outer frame. Oh, I guess right there. That's nice. The prairie point border makes a wonderful edge, reminiscent of streamers. Oh, to go with the flag. Pennsylvania origin. It's nice. It's nice. That is all. I will put the links in the Discord. And there we have the Patchwork Girl. Oh, we do have to look at the quilts that Jill bought. Is Jill still there? Okay. It's so late. Yeah. So look. L. Frank Baum. That was it. I knew I had it wrong. By L. Frank Baum, who wrote The Wizard of Oz. So yeah, the Patchwork Girl of Oz. I will. Thanks, Civvy Mac. This is a book. It is by Mr. Baum, and it's part of the Oz, thing. It's part of the Oz thing. So I'll let you all, tell me more, right? If you want to, or just share about it in the Discord, because I think that my plan here was that we would explore, what is the Patchwork Girl? What is it about? Let's read about it. But I think that I should land this plane. But I found this one other poster. When seated at your studies, don't hump over nor slump down. Don't hump over like the Patchwork Girl. What is she? Talk about doing crazy stuff. Look, she looks really... I couldn't get away with that in high school. Don't hump over like the Patchwork Girl or slump down like the Scarecrow, but sit erect like the Universal Girl. It's only 8 p.m. in Massachusetts. I'm just going to pretend that it's that time. And then I could go all night, I wish I could. I have fun with y'all. Sit erect like the Universal Girl. Sit tall in your chair. Make erectness a habit. Don't slump like the Scarecrow, nor hump like a rabbit. What? Didn't age well, did it? Sit erect at your work. Be healthy. Live long. Hollow chests come from slumping. Slumpers seldom are strong. Sit straight and in comfort while you study or rest, so your heart and your lungs can work at their best. Sit back in your seat. Bend straight from the hips. Keep your lungs well filled. Oh! And a smile on your lips. Ladies. Oh, that's nice. Man, I was with him till the very end. Why I gotta smile all the time? I don't feel like it. Man. It's cool. It does. It's yeah. Smile. You look so pretty when you smile. Well-shaped seats make erect sitting easy. Oh man. We went from like crazy quilt, like sexual repression in the 1880s to whatever this is about. I think, what is this, like the 19... Well, I don't know, actually. I can't say. I don't know when this would have been. But when we know about the Patchwork Girl, we'll know more. Y'all are funny. SJ Pepper, I see you with your little bunny. Oh wait, hold on. I got a Malrose. Hey Malrose. Oh, I gotta. So okay. Sometimes the mod bot, the bot holds comments for review because they say. Okay. So Malrose, I'm allowing your comment because it's wonderful. And it flagged your comment for review because it said, "You fellow." Okay. You said, "Hi Mary, I've only been here a minute. I'm so glad you came. Only been able to catch a couple of lives, but I wanted you to know I really appreciate the Quilt Dirt show. And I religiously, no pun on Quilt Church, watch it every replay. Love you, fellow quilt nerds." Yes, I don't know why. It flagged you fellow, like it highlighted, love all you fellow quilt nerds. No idea. It highlighted you fellow. Like that's an insult? What are we? Are we in the land of the patchwork girl and the scarecrow? Listen, you fellow. Like that's like some insult, you know, like from like the 50s? 50s? 1913. 1913. What is going on here? I mean, when is this from? Where did I find this thing? Oh, years. It feels like years ago. It is a yes, it is a hilarious flag. Congratulations. I wonder who will get the most hilarious ones. Remember when someone flagged? Yeah, it was Dee Marie. You were flagged for saying your bobbin was looser. I'll never forget it. Looser. Oh yeah. Someone else quoted you fellow, and you, Roxy, you got flagged too. I'll allow it. But you even mentioned you fellow, and they flagged it. Oh God. Yeah, bumper stickers. Okay. Woof. Whew. It has been a night. Malrose, I really appreciate what you said. Art Deco 30s. Yeah. So this Universal Girl. Yeah, I feel like Universal Girl sounds like a Marvel character. Well-shaped seats. Thank you, Sue John. That's what I thought. And Terry Meg says Audible has the whole volume of Baum's work and it's a free download. Oh, cool. The Wizard of Oz story movie plot part is only a small part of the Oz story. This I have understood, to be true. I've never read the rest of the Oz canon. Is that fair? Is that what it would be? What else is that like? It's like, what other sort of stories am I thinking of that have way more? Well, Star Wars. Doesn't Star Wars have like a whole bunch of other stuff? I mean, I know the movies are being made now, but I think there's a lot more to that whole thing. Yeah. Okay. Whew, gotta make my words. What the heck is a Universal Girl? Exactly. I did love the well-shaped seats too. That was really great. Twitch is so strange. Twitch is really strange. It's true. Dee Marie. 14 books. All 14 books. I really did not like Return to Oz. The movie Return to Oz with Fairuza Balk. I found that movie very disturbing. She was like in the mental institution, right? It was Dorothy and she was in the mental institution. That movie kind of scarred my sisters and I. I mean, it's really dark. Oh, Mombi. Oh my God, I'm remembering everything. Ugh. It's awful. Okay, now this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at Jill's quilts. We're going to look at the quilts Jill bought. Remember our horse 9,000 years ago? Okay, let's do this and let's do this. We're going to the Discord. Our Discord is on fleek, as the kids say. Okay. Now, by the way, I'm going to pull up Discord on the website. I mean, on the browser, on the Googles, the Chrome or the Safari, whatever you use. That's how you can access the Discord. But you can download the Discord app for your computer, and I did. And so I have, does it show there? No. So I have that on my dock now on my computer. I can just click on Discord, open Discord, and have it there. But I'm not going to do that because I want you to see. I want to use the browser version because I think more people we'll have that at this point. So here we are on our Discord. Oh boy. This is our thing, Quilt Church, but I got to change it. It's going to be Quilt Nerd. Don't worry about that. This is the lobby. We know from the channel guide that the lobby is all about this. And we know that these different channels are about all these different things. So Jill, where are your quilts? Oh, it's eye candy, of course. Jill bought quilts. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, Jill, where did you buy these? The Discord account. Okay, Elizabeth, I got this. I got this for you. Hang on. I'm going to put the link in the chat, Elizabeth, in just a second. So, Jill, tell us about what's going on here. Okay, here. And where did you buy them? Where did you buy them? Okay, Here's this, friends. Okay, here. Okay, so that one, so the one we're looking at, Jill says, is from 1900. She paid $275. By the way, for people who need access to the Discord, there's a link. It's your invite link from an Instagram quilt dealer. It's wonderful. It's really, really nice. Let me go up here. Oh yeah, wow. My mom would love that quilt. This gold, the pinks, that blue, the shirting prints, and yeah, really, really nice. That's sweet. Yeah, and I like this red and white one up there. Nicely done, Jill. Really, really nice. Whoops. Yeah, the nuclear symbol. Sometimes, we see things in quilts. I'm seeing all kinds of things in the air at this point. I'm kind of tired. Aunt Anna, wow, 1883, age 88. Aunt Anna, that's great. I love this fabric down here, this little blue coral, sort of corally looking print. I love that. It's wonderful. It's gorgeous. Lovely. Oh yeah, great. Wow. Is this a top? No. Is it a top? Yeah, great. Okay. It's $140. That's great. I think that's a really good deal. It's really nice. Check boxes. My mom made a quilt. I think she called it check boxes. But yeah, that's a great block. It's a really, really good block right there. Hang on. And it's a signature quilt, because look at all these little signatures. Not every single one has one, but it's a great signature quilt, right? Because it's like got that center piece, perfect for people to put their John Hancock. It's a great quilt. It's great. Are you going to finish it? What do you think? 1882. Family names with dates and ages. It's awesome. It's interesting. I haven't seen any quilt clothes made from signature quilts. Interesting. Would it be harder to cut one up? I don't know. Okay, this is wonderful. Are you gonna finish it? Like, what are your thoughts? You could finish it. You could. Oh, we have a mouse. Look at these birds. This is great. I watched a nature program with a bird in it. It was an owl, and it was just magnificent. This is lovely. Okay. We can't go into the Discord is there, so everyone can do this kind of stuff all night and anytime you want. So there it is. Jill, good job. Yes, I'm glad that you rescued it. The owls are lovely. I mean, it's really, really cute. Like, this little guy is really wonderful. They're all wonderful. They're all owls. Oh, I didn't even notice that. I was like seeing birds, and then I'm like, oh, look, an owl. They're really good. They're really good. Look at that guy. Wow. Okay, everybody, I am so glad that you came out tonight, and yeah, just a pleasure and an honor. And is there anything I didn't think of? Okay, Tuesdays normal, added stream on Wednesday. Check the schedule; it'll be there. No stream Saturday night next week. I'll be in Budapest. And Joey Veldkamp, he's on the list. We'll take a look. but not tonight. I'll put all the links in the Discord for episode discussion, and that's it. That's it. Anybody who was new, I'm so glad that you came. I hope you like it. You should come back and, check out another episode and I think see just how different, we look at so much different stuff. It's so much. We started in Sudan, right? And we ended up in signature quilts and fashion and Americana, blah, blah. But we just do it all. And there's just wonderful people here. So thank you so much. I hope that you will have a safe and good remainder of your weekend. And be good. Not too good. Okay. Bye, y'all. Lovely.